What is up, everybody, and welcome to Unlocking Kingdom Hearts, a Kingdom Hearts podcast where we talk about everything we love and don't love about Kingdom Hearts. I am your host, Cameron Hawkins, and today I have with me Alexa Ray Korea, the
Hi.
newlywed
Oh
Alexa
god.
Ray Korea Brown.
Yes.
Not quite new.
Not quite new, but there's only
Oh,
been
it's-
one other episode this year,
Oh no.
and
Yeah.
you weren't here. So, but since what was the Kingdom Hearts 2 episode? No, the 358 episode. You got married in Disney World.
Yeah.
You had a Kingdom Hearts themed wedding in Disney
I
World.
did.
It looked so cool.
It was wild. The Disney people were like, oh, like they were out of their minds. Half of them didn't know what was going on, and the other half were like, oh my god, Kingdom Hearts. So it was like a really interesting experience.
Nice.
We love to hear it.
Want to apologize. I forgot to ask for your new name. So
Oh, it's it's the same.
is it
Alexa Ray Korea.
oh
Yeah.
did you like
So you're not legally changing your name or anything?
Oh no, I'm too lazy. That's way too much work.
I feel you.
It's okay.
you.
It's okay. Like it's okay. Celia never changed her last name either, and I'm just like, okay.
I'm
Yeah,
too lazy.
Yeah, that or like I honestly encourage the hyphen. Like it just feels weird to like have a whole name.
I have too many
change.
names.
You know
already.
what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
like I don't know how. I just don't know how like I would feel if like I had to, change my name too. You know what I'm saying? Like so,
Like Alexa
Shout out
Ray
to the hyphen.
Korea is
it's fire.
basically it's
Fire.
like it's a fire name.
It's a brand.
Great
It's a brand.
name.
Yeah.
It's a brand. It's a
Thank you.
brand.
It's really
Ray,
great.
Ray Korea is my father. I'm named after my dad. He's pretty
Okay,
awesome.
that's dope. That's
Beautiful.
dope.
Beautiful.
And of course we have Kevin Diaz. Kevin, how are you?
Doing good. Doing good. Greetings. Salutations. Doing good. I binge this. See, this is probably like one of my favorite times to where like I beat the game and when we're recording same day. I like that. Because in the past,
Okay.
because like
You're fresh.
in the
you're
past,
fresh in your
yeah,
mind.
like it's very fresh because like in the past it's been like, okay, all right guys, I'm done. And then we have scheduling conflicts and it ends up being like a couple weeks after whatever, but now we're good. We're good. And I binged it within like a week. Yeah. For the most part.
Yeah, we told ourselves like a month ago, like we should get this out before Spider-Man 2 comes
It's
out.
all Spider-Man
because
2.
Everyone's gonna be playing that, and then like Mario comes out, Alan Wake 2 is gonna come out a week later. It's just gonna be really busy, so we're just like, let's get this out of the way before it gets really busy again. Because 2023 has been an amazing year for video games, maybe the best ever. But I did want to talk really quick before we get started about everything that's happening in Gaza. Like, I'm not going to pretend like I'm super duper educated on everything that's happening. But what I do know is that, like, we shouldn't be killing women and children. We shouldn't be doing terrible things like that to a region that is just trying to gain their freedom and establish their own sense of home and place, and it's just really horrific and terrible to see the events that are happening in Gaza, and regardless of like Palestinian or Israeli, like we shouldn't be killing women and children. Like we shouldn't be killing innocent civilians. None of that is okay. And I just, we have a platform, and I wanted to say something about that. Alexa, Kevin, if you want to say anything, please do.
I think that was very well said, and I'm glad you said something as well.
Yeah. Just not just innocent life shouldn't be taken. That's you summed it up very well, so I think that's where we'll have it be said,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. There's no way to really transition into that, into the next thing in a natural way. So, but Alexa, you weren't here in the last episode. You had a lot of personal stuff going on, totally understandable. So I wanted to use this time to kind of let you talk a little bit about Birth by Sleep, because you missed the Birth by Sleep episode, and just kind of talk about your feelings about what you like and dislike about the game before we hop into the next game in the series.
So for me, Birth by Sleep is my second favorite one in the series, right under Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts 2
Agreed.
will always be the best one. I remember finishing that game, and my predominant thought, and it's still my predominant thought, because I think a lot about, the story and narrative and stuff like that. Terra is an idiot. Like,
Yeah, he is.
I absolutely, he is so stupid. Like, he made stupid choices, he did stupid things, and I realized that he plays a big role in us getting Riku going on his journey, and it is all part of that and everything. But I think about those three main characters of that game, and I think about Aqua and the whole giving up everything, falling into darkness, only to have she saved the guy who went on to terrorize everyone. Basically, she didn't know, but she gave everything. She's running around trying to keep the group together, trying to and then also trying to fight all this stuff. And then you have poor sad boy Ventus here, whose story gets even weirder as we move on in the series. Without spoiling anything for Kevin, I can't think about him without thinking about the shit that goes down in other games, and it's bizarre and strange. I really like the whole Ventus Vanitas duality and sort of what they do with Vanitas, and the idea of literally fighting your darkness. They took it and they made it physical, and the way that they sort of do the storyline between the two of them, I think, is a really obvious but also a really well done metaphor for facing yourself. But Terra's just an idiot. He makes stupid choices. He does stupid things.
Yeah.
And I'm embarrassed for him, quite frankly.
Yeah. No, I basically compare him to he is the Anakin Skywalker in episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
He just he just rolls with all of this. Dude's obviously evil, and he's just yeah, okay. Dude's obviously evil.
So stupid.
Yeah, okay.
I remember playing the fight. So Rage Awakened, by the way, one of my favorite tracks in the entire Kingdom Hearts series. But I remember doing that fight and having seen all the cutscenes, because we didn't get Final Mix for a while. So I'd seen the cutscenes with the oh Jesus Christ, the Lingering Will. Mm-hmm. And when I saw that armor, I was like, oh God, we're gonna fight him. But then they did the thing where it wasn't him. It was his last resolve, left a ghost in his armor. And I got really sad. So dude went through it, but it's also dude's fault.
Oh yeah.
I don't like that trio as much as I like the original trio. However, I think Aqua is the best written female character in the series.
Really
hands down. Yeah, hands down.
I'm an Aqua
she
stan.
was made.
I'm an Aqua stan.
Because people were like, I have feelings about Kyrie, and they're all negative. But I really, and I really, when I finally played as her, I was like, finally, this sausage fest has a very powerful woman, and I think her sacrifice, specifically her making that huge sacrifice, to me was just Aqua got to clean up everyone else's shit. Of course she does. She's on cleanup duty. So I adore her. And what happened? Nope. I'm moving forward.
We can't
say.
We can't say. But I don't know. I know that people really, really love Aqua, but I think Shion might be my favorite female character.
Yeah,
her story is so her story though, it's so tragic. She, you know what I mean? And it's also, it's
I think
sad.
maybe I know. I think maybe I empathize with being the girl cleaning up everyone else's shit too much. I am an eldest daughter. Aqua very much has eldest daughter vibes there. Sure. And she just has these two idiots. Terra's I'm gonna do this because I guess I'm gonna do this, and then you have Ventus just where, who am I? And she's guys, come on, stop. And she just loses, tries so hard and fails so spectacularly, but she doesn't even know she fails, because when she falls into the realm of darkness, she assumes she has saved Terra, and that stupid idiot had already fucked it up by that point. She had no idea. So
Yeah, no, like I definitely do like Aqua. I'm not saying like that Aqua is like in any way a bad character. I think I just resonated more with like Shion's story and stuff going on with her a bit more. And like while I don't think she is uh like a better written character, I love Naminé. I love Naminé. So it's just it's just one of the things, you know? But yeah, like I just just like one like little quick thing to wrap this up is just I really like how after Kingdom Hearts 2 you just have so many questions about like the series still, and Birth by Sleep answers all of them, and like in ways that make sense and feel natural and don't feel like that they were shoehorned in or had to be made up kind of like on the spot, because like at least like up to that point in the series, right? I think that there are points later on where it feels a little bit more like, oh, okay, like this doesn't feel as intentionally thought out, with some stuff specifically regarding Xehanort and like
Mm-hmm.
in that. But I do think that like leading up to that point, I was just like, this game did everything that I wanted it to, on top of just being a really really fun game. And I think it's just its biggest disservice is that it wasn't like at the time of its release it wasn't a console game, it was a
Sure.
handheld, and you could definitely see that that game suffered for
Mm-hmm.
that. And the remasters made it better, but like you could still feel that handheld like feel,
Handheldness.
yeah,
Yeah.
when you're especially when you're like in combat and stuff. So
Yeah.
but yeah,
I
you were
will
saying
say, Birth by Sleep was also the last game that we got new Final Fantasy characters, because the rest of the games in the series took a different direction with that.
Yeah.
Without spoiling it for Kevin, but like Zack Fair was the last
Our
skinny
king.
ass baby Zack.
Our king.
Yeah, was like
Yeah.
the last one we got, and we haven't seen them since, which is kind of a sad for me. But I don't know.
A puppy dog, Zach. Puppy dogs. Wait, is that the last time we're seeing Zach? Don't, Alexa, don't say that.
I didn't say it was the last time we were seeing Zack. I said it was the
Okay,
last time we got new Final
A
Fantasy.
new.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I do remember.
No one else is introduced like as a
Gotcha.
Final Fantasy character.
Okay,
Yeah,
I see.
I do remember back in like I
I
think
see.
it was an Ultimania interview or something. The original plan was to have Laguna from Final Fantasy VIII be like the arbiter of the Colosseum or something.
Oh, really?
Like in the original plans, and
Mm.
I don't know. I remember reading that somewhere, and that stuck. I think it was an Ultimania, and that stuck with me. But they ultimately removed it because they kind of
Yeah.
scaled not the Colosseum in like the not the other one, and I think they scaled it back, and then they had Zack in Olympus because they were putting all the Final Fantasy VII characters in Olympus. Yeah, I don't know. It was really sad. I was really hoping with Kingdom Hearts 3 we'd get like some new characters, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Noctis pulls up.
I was like Noctis, Lightning,
let's
like
go.
we've got so
Yeah.
Yo,
Draco.
where's Lightning? Where's my girl?
Where's Lightning? Where is Lightning? Maybe in Kingdom Hearts 4 we'll get like some, I mean, 16 is really popular. Maybe we'll get Clive and Gav and stuff. That'd be nice.
No, that'd be really cool if like there was a new like Final Fantasy crew in Quadratum and it's Lightning,
Clive,
Noctis,
Lightning,
and
Noctis.
Clive. Let's go.
Ooh.
Nomura, call us up. We're already making the plans for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for today's episode we're talking about Kingdom Hearts Recoded. And before we talk about our feelings about the game, I wanted to go over the development of not particularly this game, but the original Coded, because I feel like a lot of people nowadays don't really know a whole lot about that game, and like how it's just very interesting. It's not gonna go super in depth, but it's there's some really interesting stuff about it. The game originally released technically on November 18th, 2008. It was like a preview episode that they released. And then the full game was released in 8 episodic chapters between 2009 and 2010. And this game was only available in Japan. And what they tried to do was Coded was like first released pre-installed on the Docomo Prime series P01A mobile phone. And then like I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure that there were other phones that you could download the game on over time. And this was Nomura trying to get a new like sort of business model for Square Enix with mobile devices. And they also like released this thing called Kingdom Hearts Mobile, which basically allowed you to create avatars and play mini games on there as well. But then the game was like ended up being discontinued on April 30th of 2013. But yeah, I just thought it was really interesting. I didn't get a description of like what the combat was like, but I've seen screenshots of it, and you should look up screenshots for it. It is different from what it is in Recoded. It's pretty different.
Interesting.
This is a lot more of a remake, I would say, comparatively to like Rechain of Memories. Like Rechain of Memories is pretty much a 1-for-1, except for they just put it into a 3D space, like a full 3D space. But this was a little bit more significant, I would say. And then when it came to Recoded, Nomura wanted to all like this specific part. I want to say is all in the Recoded Ultimania. It's only in Japanese, but I if you're watching this podcast, I do have a copy of it myself. So apparently Nomura wanted to re-release Coded, and I initially considered releasing it on the Wii through WiiWare, the virtual game store.
Oh
so that
God.
so that they could like release it in chapters like the mobile game did. But then they because he wanted to re-release it to get it to a broader audience. And then they ended up deciding on the DS because it was the most popular handheld system in America and Europe, because that was really where they were trying to push it getting done. And they ended up recruiting Hand, which was the team that helped with 358, to basically remake Recoded.
Do you know like which like where the chapter breaks are? Is it like by world or is it
by world? It's by
Oh,
world.
okay, cool,
Yeah.
okay,
So
cool, yeah. Gotcha.
yeah. So like, except for Hollow Bastion, because Hollow Bastion is technically two
It's
parts.
2 parts, yeah.
Like each of those, yeah. Like those are all like considered one chapter.
Gotcha.
And and then Nomura basically had them work on the game. They worked on it for about a year, and they realized that there was kind of like it's kind of hard for them to make it. And apparently, again, this was somewhere in the Ultimania. They said it was nearly impossible to make. The scale of the game grew so much that the Osaka team that was working on Birth by Sleep had to help finish the game with them. And so yeah, and then Recoded ended up releasing in October of 2010, and it is pretty widely regarded, I would say, as the weakest Kingdom Hearts game in the series. October 7th, 2010 specifically. So same year as Birth by Sleep. Birth by Sleep came out in January, and then Coded came out in 2010. And I just think that I'm sorry. So it came out in 2010 in Japan. In the US, it came out January 11th, 2011. So yeah, and yeah, so that's basically like what I want to talk about with the development of the game. And I when it comes to my feelings about this game, because I've only played the one time since it came out. I've only played this is the second time I've ever played it. And I remember like being really harsh on it, like really not liking it, like that type of thing. And you know what? This game ain't so bad. Like I actually really enjoyed my time with this game. Like it's still, in my opinion, like one of like the weakest game overall, because like just the contribution of story to Kingdom Hearts is at its lowest, I would say. But like playing the game feels really good. Like I was surprised how good the game felt to play. And like for a 2011 DS game, because Kevin's just kind of like giving me that.
Yeah. Oh wait, go ahead.
Yeah. For it being a 2011 DS game, I'm like, this plays actually pretty well, and like, and I can definitely see how this like took things from Birth by Sleep, and like, cause like when I think about Birth by Sleep and Coded, like I might think that Coded feels better to play, just like by minute to minute combat. I think it might.
Do I?
I think it might. Like,
honestly,
like, listen,
honestly, no,
like,
no,
here's
sorry.
the thing.
Go ahead.
Here's the thing. If you like have a complete save, right, of Coded, like you like as it evolves, right, over time, if you play like like I think like the abilities and stuff that you do in Birth by Sleep are cooler, like your kits and things like that. But just the kind of feeling of the general like hack and slash, I think it kind of feels better. Like I might be talking out of my ass right now, but like I honestly think I might. Like and here's the thing. I still have problems with this game. Like for what this game is, like if you just take this game for what it is, I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. Like I think this game plays like way better than 358, like significantly better. Even though I think the story is like incredibly strong in 358. But like, yeah, I really like the gameplay. And I like how they implemented the stat matrix where you like put the slots in to unlock the abilities. Granted, you're like a lot like, you don't have a whole lot of abilities, but they implemented a real, and what I think is a pretty cool Keyblade mechanic where like depending on what Keyblade you do, your attacks are executed differently. And like there are different things that it depends on what Keyblade you use, right? So like like Three Wishes, the one for Agrabah, like you attack a lot faster. And I really liked that.
That's cool.
Compared to other Keyblades.
That's true.
And then there's Oblivion where like I think Oblivion you had more reach, but every time you hit something, you took damage. So it's kind of like a push and pull type thing. And I'm like, that's really like I kind of wish we got something like not in a traditional, not in like a number Kingdom Hearts game, because like I just think that format is just so perfect. But like in another like non-numbered title, I wouldn't be opposed to them doing something like that again, where it's like, hey, these Keyblades, like, yeah, they like they make you a little bit stronger or whatever, but like there's this other side thing that like it does to. And they kind of do that in Kingdom Hearts in the numbered ones. Like like one weapon will have like more reach than others, but like it doesn't go the full way that it does in this game.
Yeah. It goes beyond like it goes beyond the stats, and it really makes like it makes each individual Keyblade feel like, okay, I worked really hard. I got this. This is a thing. And it also encourages you, like, depending on where you're going and what you're doing, to swap between them for like the buff. Like it really added a deeper strategy to those Keyblades beyond like, oh, this one has higher attack, or this one I can equip, it adds more item slots or whatever. I really like that. I would love to see that come back, especially if we're getting into the future of the franchise where we're going to be seeing a lot of other really interesting stuff. Like maybe go back to that. Maybe, I don't know, examples. If, you got Star Wars in a game or something, maybe that one has extra, like, I don't know, damage, but like you just said, you take damage, kind of like a Dark Knight class. Like map that shit to the job classes and like what you get. Like I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like this might be something that I actually like may have not given Kingdom Hearts 3 credit for, and like I'm not talking about anything story related, but like so in Kingdom Hearts 3, Kevin, you have Keyblade transformations. So depending on what Keyblade you have, and you like you do enough like combos and stuff,
Okay.
your Keyblade will transform into like
Guns.
yeah, into like guns, or you get a hammer,
shit.
or you get
Okay.
or you get a flat.
Wait a minute. Okay. I'm
Yeah,
with
you-
that.
The guys lightning
No.
blasters.
Yeah.
Like,
And-
yeah.
or you get a flag,
I
and
got
like
the Glock. Let's
and-
get it. Okay.
and-
No, yeah, the key-
and or you get like a staff, and it's just like
Guns are my
that was
favorite.
even though like I have issues with things in Kingdom Hearts 3 with its combat, that actually is kind of cool because it does, while it doesn't go the same exact way as coded, it did encourage me to switch around with different weapons from time to time.
Yeah.
It wasn't all about just like, oh, what's the best what's the best stats, like what gets my stats to this level, or like what ability does this one give me.
Right, yeah. The one I loved in this game, which once I got it and figured out, oh, like that's what it does. I pretty much stick with this one for the most part, aside from the end bit where I switched to a different Keyblade. That it wasn't Oblivion, but the one after Oblivion. I forgot what that one was called.
After Oblivion?
Yeah, there was one after Oblivion, I think. Or was it before?
Was it 001?
Zero, that one. Yeah, the
Okay.
01.
The 01, yeah. I used that for a little bit towards the end, but I stuck with the one from, I think, Wonderland, the Lucky something.
Oh, Lady Luck?
Okay.
Lady Luck.
Lady.
Yeah, because
okay.
when you block, it refills your health. So I was
Oh, okay.
so that came in clutch, like, and that added, and like I really agree with Lexa, where like that did add a different play style, to that specific Keyblade, right? Same way with 01, where like I didn't look at to what exactly it did specifically, but I just noticed that I was doing a lot more damage to a specific enemy that I was stuck on. Not like one enemy, but I was in an encounter that I got stuck on with the lucky one with the Lady Luck Keyblade, and I switched to the 01 Keyblade. So I would love to see something like that in the future in this series, where like we have not like perks, but just like a different element that like
it is a
basically
perk.
perks.
It's a
Yeah,
perk. It's
yeah,
like, hey, yeah.
Just it.
That is
Yeah.
cool.
Like enough to completely change how you're dealing it, where like blocks were something that I was using as a means to
so
like
it's
take
like-
a second, chill, read the attack patterns, get health back too in the process. Like, yeah, so
Yeah,
Change
and
it,
then
change
when
it,
you're
change
like
it,
done,
yeah.
when you're done with that encounter, you can switch back to something else.
Yep.
And like, yeah, I do really, really like that. But yeah, and I just think, and like, I want to revert back to my birth by sleep statement really quick. Like, listen.
Oh, yeah.
Like, listen, like, y'all can't tell me that playing as Terra felt good. That shit did not feel good.
No,
That
because
dude was-
Tara's an idiot. He played like an idiot. It was not fun.
It's just no.
It
It's
was
just
not fun.
it's just he's slow. He's like the slow character that does a lot of damage, and like
He's slow up here too. Like he's just stupid.
so like but like his
I hate Tara. Anyway, sorry.
slow
but-
all around.
No. But like his and like with Kingdom Hearts, like what makes Kingdom Hearts 2 like, one of the many parts that make Kingdom Hearts 2 combat so great is that it's fast, right? It's
Yes.
you're consistent, like, but with Terra it's just like dude.
Yeah, he's like
And then he does like the little spin attack, and it's just like, bro, that took way too long.
he's the combat equivalent of Titus running in Final Fantasy X. It's like slow and animated badly and like just doesn't look or feel correct.
Yeah,
That's
and like
Terra.
yeah, and it's just one of those things where again, I think part of it does have to do with the technology, right, of the PSP, but I just think that I think Aqua like played the best because I mean she was like the most balanced, right? Like
Absolutely.
and so, but like in general, like across the three of them, I'm like, I don't know, like coded, like I never felt like I never was playing coded. I was like, this does not feel good to play. I was like, this is surprisingly like solid for a 2011 a 2011 DS game. Like I was impressed with it. But yeah. Alexa, your thoughts on you know, on
Gameplay?
Coded,
Are we
on
doing
gameplay. Yeah,
gameplay
let's
first?
do gameplay.
Don't get me
Gameplay.
started on story in that game. I feel
Okay,
like
interesting.
I well first like no, I'm not gonna go there yet. I feel like Kingdom Hearts Coded, I feel like this whole thing was an experiment. I know that for the
Yes,
Kingdom Hearts series, yeah, they really
definitely.
do like to, yeah, they really do like to make them for all the new technology. Like people complain that in order to play the whole series, you need like 10 different consoles. Like back in, the day, you need to buy a DS, you need to buy a PSP, like all that stuff. But
Yeah.
like that team was so committed to new technology and like new conceits. Like the thing that I remember that sticks with me the most about Coded, and the thing that I keep going back to when I think about it, is like that's the one where it felt like a systems testing ground. You had the basic combat, you had the with like the semi like card birth by like this weird mix of Birth by Sleep and Chain of Memory stuff. But then you had like a side-scrolling platformer in Traverse Town, and you had like an
Oh yeah.
on-rails shooter in Wonderland, and then Olympus Coliseum was just a turn-based Final Fantasy game.
Dope
Like
as
that,
fuck.
like
That was
Dope as
so
fuck.
good.
you
So
had
So
good.
it
good.
was,
So
and I
good.
was like,
So good.
I really liked I really liked all of it. And then you would get like, your bonuses if you did really well in all of those. And then also there was the multiplayer aspect. And then there was all of the different systems for upgrading. The stat matrix, just say you wanted to do the sphere grid. Like, please. It was a mix of a lot of stuff. And when you get used to all the stuff, you're like, okay, yeah, this all makes sense together. But it really felt for me like whatever we liked from Coded, whatever people latched on to there, we were going to see in the next game, which is why when Dream Drop Distance came out, I was like, did what happened? Like, did nobody like anything encoded? Because all of that stuff was really, really interesting. And I thought that was cool. And like, we kind of get pieces of that in later games in the series where they kind of experiment with like little like gameplay conceits and stuff. Like you have this is not a spoiler. You have the cooking in 3 as like you could make stuff like it's kind of like a little additional thing. But I really felt like they had time to play, and I know like development was a little fraught, but they had time to play with it, and you can really tell. The keyblade stuff we were just talking about, it was a lot, but that was their testing ground, and that's why I really liked it. I'm just a little not disappointed, but I'm surprised that more of those pieces didn't show up in later games. It must not have done well, or they must not have liked. They must not have liked it.
Again, it's hard because like, again, I think that the Kingdom Hearts, especially like once you get to 2, but like 2, 1, 2, 3, Birth by Sleep a little bit. I would say Dream Drop does it more, but like 1, 2, 3, like though that system of like how the menus work, how the keyblades work, like how everything works, it's like simplistic, but it's like perfectly simplistic where like I'm not mad at its simplicity because it's just how like it just works. And then there's obviously all the other mechanics alongside it with like drive forms, keyblade transformations, all that stuff. That's all like just I'm talking like ground level, if that makes sense. But like and the thing is like I would rather have that than trying to like implement other stuff that from a game that was received as relatively divisive to into like a Kingdom Hearts 4, right? Like I just like or a Kingdom Hearts 3 at the time. Like I would have rather been like, no, I want Kingdom Hearts 2 again. But like more
What I
updated
wanted.
and better, right? And like some of that was there for 3. A lot of that wasn't there for 3 in my opinion. And but the thing is like Dream Drop is basically, like how we say Birth by Sleep is like Kingdom Hearts 0. Dream Drop is basically 2.75, right? It's like this or like the actual 2.5 where like it is a lot of it like it still has like it still has the deck system like Birth by Sleep, but a lot of how the keyblades work, a lot of like how the worlds work. It's all very reminiscent of Kingdom Hearts 2, like at least how Kingdom Hearts 2 was laid out but in a more, because this was a 3DS game, in a little bit smaller space, right? But it does feel like more traditional Kingdom Hearts, in my opinion, than any of the side games, including Birth by Sleep. But Birth by Sleep has those mechanics that are only in Birth by Sleep, or at least at the time, that makes it more fun for me than Dream Drop. Like, you know, the shot lock, and like that's not in Dream Drop. Like, there are just things that are like exclusively to Birth by Sleep that I still make, like, I love the mechanics of it when it comes to gameplay, but Dream Drop is still really good in the things that it does do uniquely for gameplay, in my opinion.
Holding it in. We're not talking about the game yet. I'm holding it in.
Yeah, we gotta play that game first. And makes it feel like this is like a numbered Kingdom Hearts title-esque, like that same kind of vibe that you would expect. Unlike, in my opinion, like 358 or Coded. Like, I think that those are a little bit more obviously like trying to do their own thing. Yeah. I want to talk about some of these bosses in this game, because
I do want to say
Evan, go for it.
I do want to say really quick. I do want to say really
Okay.
quick. We're like almost 40 minutes in. Jonathan could not make it on this recording. I don't know if we brought it up yet. Did we even say anything about it?
Jonathan is not here. Jonathan is not here. He's got a lot of life stuff going on.
I was like looking at his face. I'm like, oh wait.
Hopefully.
I don't know if we said anything.
For the next episode,
Oh, no.
Jonathan, I'm so sorry if you're watching this. We love you.
We were
love you.
oh my god, we are on a tear today. Jeez.
You know what we also didn't mention? We'll mention it at the end. We'll mention it at the end, Alexa, because that's the reward for listening to the entire episode.
Oh yeah. Wink,
wink, wink. Kevin knows what I'm talking. Kevin knows what we're talking about. Indeed. But anyway, but no, because I remember Kevin messaging our group chat yesterday, being like, "Bro, I'm about to throw my DS at a wall," and I'm just like, "What?"
Yeah, okay.
Because I was still behind you at that point, and I know exactly what you're fucking talking about.
I don't know.
Fuck those bosses.
No,
what?
I honestly didn't have too much of a problem with any of the bosses in this game.
What were you talking about then?
Real. I'm just like, there were some. Okay, it was when there were points in this game where it was those like platforming challenges type things. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And this blends into like
where you're like the back door rooms. Is that what
you're talking about? Yeah. Like
Kingdom Hearts back rooms.
Yeah. The back rooms is crazy.
There's no. This is Kingdom Hearts. There's no easy way to say anything. There's no easy way to say anything.
I'm just like, damn. Like, I don't know, because it also meshes in with like it took me a little bit to really get used to organizing my camera in the heat of battle in this game.
Oh,
yeah, that's where I think like from the core gameplay of this game is like its biggest fault. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, and
100%.
Like, you know,
100%.
What can you say? It's a 3DS. You know, like, what are you gonna do, right? You know what I'm saying? But like, if I remember, I think it was 358 where they had a control scheme where you could do the x-axis like left and right. I think with the left and right buttons, like hold L to turn the camera left and right. I think that was 358, right? I think. I'm trying to remember if it was that. I'm pretty sure it was.
I mean, that would be the game to do it.
I think that was a setting in that game that I was hoping was in here, but I didn't find it in this game. But I found a closest thing where like if I hit the right trigger, it centered my camera view to where Sora was looking. So I used that one.
I used L to do that.
Oh, L? Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Did you play the whole... Never mind.
No. What's up? What happened?
No, I was gonna be like, did you play the whole game fighting with your camera? I feel so bad.
No, like I got I,
Like in
I just had
like
to.
in most so
Yeah, go ahead.
I would just say that there were certain bosses at there's one specific boss at the end of the game
Which one?
where I had to consistently
Which one?
the Sora Heartless
Oh.
boss. Not
Not-
yeah.
not the big boy, but when you're
Oh, but
fighting
Sora?
the darkness
Yeah.
clons.
The little boy.
Yeah,
That fight.
yeah,
Dude,
that one's
I
kind of
was
crazy.
over here last
Yeah,
night.
that one's kind of crazy.
I was like punching myself. Like I was like wanting to punch a wall. Like I was
Yeah.
fucking feral.
Yeah,
dude.
that one was kind of
'Cause,
crazy.
like, dude, it was just because here's the thing. Like when I got to a certain part in the game, I was just like, am I under leveled? Am I just like super under leveled right now? Like, because I was using the 3 Wishes Keyblade once I like got that. So I was using Oblivion once I got Oblivion, and I realized like, oh, its thing is that it hurts me. I like this Keyblade, but I don't want that. So
Right.
I switched to 3. I tried out 3 Wishes. I'm like, oh, my attacks are super fast. I'm gonna use 3 Wishes. And so like I got to the Maleficent Dragon fight, and that was annoying too.
It's always
'cause-
annoying. She's always annoying.
But like, because the thing is, like, I learned is that because once you get combo master, you can still continue doing your combo. And if you just get the final hit of the combo on her head, she'll go down and she'll be stunned. And I was just like, oh, okay, cool. So I was like, eventually I beat that, but that was the first one that kind of just, got a little fire in me. And then I got to the Sora fight. And then the big guy, like, he was doing the fist thing, he's putting the fist through the ground.
No, that one was
And then
crazy.
there's like he does so after the second time, and I think he always does it. On the second time, his whole body will go through the platform or the ground, and even if you're remotely near him, you like auto die. At least
it's
that's
a
what it felt
one-hit.
like. Because the first
It was definitely
because the first
it's
time
definitely a one hit.
because the first time it happened, I was like, what the hell? Like I was so confused. And then the second time, because I thought it was like, if you don't kill him by the second phase of him doing the fisting thing,
Oh God, don't say it like that.
there's no easy way to say
No.
it. The fist phase,
Fist face.
then you auto die. It's like a scripted guaranteed death. But then the
Yeah.
second time I did it, he didn't kill me. I didn't take any damage.
Same
I'm like,
thing.
Oh,
No,
okay.
yo, that happened to me too.
What the?
That exact scenario happened to me. Swear.
I was in the corner both times, and I'm like, why did I die? And
Those-
so
Yeah.
Those boss fights are very for me, the only frame of reference we had at that point when that game came out was Demon Souls. I feel like looking back on those and playing them again, I'm like, this feels very Dark Souls to me.
Interesting.
In the way that they were concepted and the way that the way that the back and forth feedback and sort of like the design space for those. That's what it
Yeah.
very much reminded me of.
yeah,
And hard
and-
and infuriating.
yeah, and then like when you get to the Shadow Sora, and then his clones, and then they're
His
doing the
clones are
thing where
crazy.
they jump up in the air, and then the fucking
the
spectral
barrage of
keyblades
keyblades.
where-
Yeah.
I'm like, that was the part where I had to keep readjusting the camera.
Yeah.
Because if not, I would get caught once and I would be stun locked. Like I would just die. There's nothing I could do. And it was like, dude, that fight, I was so fucking mad
Yeah,
last night.
I
It was
was-
like 2 a.m. and I'm like, fuck this fight. Fuck this. Like, oh god, I was so mad.
I wasn't expecting Heartless Sora to respawn those two other satellite Soras, if you will. You know what I'm saying? I figured they would just be there for that phase, right? And I figure, okay, maybe if there's like because I think it's 2 phases that Heartless Sora fight, where like you beat them, you fully beat
Yeah.
them once, and you fight again.
And then so it happened. There's
Yeah.
4 phases. So there's the big guy.
Right.
Then it's just
Yeah,
Sora's like
just
Sora
him.
Heartless. Then there's the clones, and then there's the clones again.
Yeah, it's
happens twice.
It's 2 of the clone rounds, yeah. But no, like he can respawn them even after you take him out. So at a certain
Yeah.
point, I'm like, all right, nah, I'm gonna do
You just gotta focus. You gotta focus and
at
just
this
hope
point,
that you.
I got focus on him. I used the 2 other satellite Soras as means for me to get health. So when they were doing their key barrages, I was just blocking with the Lady Luck Keyblade and just using them as just to, gas me up to get the main Heartless Sora.
Oh, very smart. Very smart.
That's what I did, yeah. Because at a certain point, I'm like, no, like I got to focus on him, yeah. And then I was grabbing the golden Keyblade after the main Heartless Sora did his barrage of
you have to turn him into a normal Heartless.
And
then after you do that, you can combo him and if you have the right really deck.
Easy. Oh yeah.
If you have the right deck, you can just combo them until they're dead before they can revert back. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, that was a tough one. That was tough.
Yeah. That was the fight that gave me the most trouble. I was just like, no, this game needs to fuck off.
It's so funny. It's so funny you say that because in the games that are coming, there are some fights that I think that get close to, but maybe don't surpass the infuriatingness of this one. There's a couple.
I remember a specific fight near the end of Dream Drop. It's not the final boss, but it's near the end of the final. End.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
And
it's real
I
bad.
remember playing that on my 3DS, and I was just like, there was a point where I was just thinking to myself, is this possible? Like, is it like, is this? Can I possibly win this fight? And so like, I didn't know if I was like underpowered or like what it was, and like, it just took me a while to kind of get it, and then once I got it, I was like, oh my god, okay, like, and it was still challenging. Like, you still have to like, it's just like one of those things. Like, once you figure it out, you have it figured out, but you gotta like you gotta be like on, and you just can't mess up, because if you mess up, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for us to talk about Dream Drop.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about it too.
Dream Drop dump.
I'm just gonna say right now, before we go into Dream Drop, is that like I think the story aspect of Dream Drop, me and Alexa are kind of pretty much on the same page. Gameplay, I really like the gameplay.
Oh, I see. I really hated the gameplay. Okay,
oh,
yeah.
I love it.
Wait, do y'all like or dislike Dream Drop story?
Alexa hates it.
Okay, you hate it.
Introduced. Okay, Dream Drop.
Don't say what it does. Don't say what it does. But,
I won't.
We've teased it before, but like, there's something specific that Dream Drop introduces.
Yes,
that is a mistake. They shouldn't have done it. They shouldn't have done it.
It absolutely changed, like, alters the course of what is possible in the Kingdom Hearts timeline, and it's part of the it created the problem when so many people are like, I can't follow or understand what is going on in Kingdom Hearts now. This specific plot point is the thing that absolutely, like,
that makes it harder to defend. It makes it harder to defend like the criticisms that people have about Kingdom Hearts story.
Right.
And it
interesting.
And it also is just a trope that I think is my least favorite, most hated trope as a writer of all time.
Yeah, it's not great.
So when it
but I will also say that, like, because like, you know, and I think
mad.
You have realized this, Kevin, is that like Kingdom Hearts is a really hard series to just explain the story to without having played the game, like without like that person playing the game. Like if we've explained the story to you up so far, if you didn't play the games, you'd be like, what are you talking about? But because you've played the games, you totally understand. It totally makes sense, you know. And because again, there's a lot of visual, like it's a lot of stuff in the the visuals, the dialogue, like, you know, it's not your it doesn't tell its story in a typical traditional manner. But you understand it when you're experiencing it. And that's something that you're just like, you know, certain people are just like never going to accept.
Right.
They're just like, they're just not going to accept like Eastern ways of storytelling, apparently, because like that's, I mean, really, it's just like it's not a Western way of telling stories. It's just it's just not. And so
The thing about
well,
Coded Story though, like is this is also, I think Kingdom Hearts 2, Birth by Sleep, and Coded, like everyone, like those are, I think those and then Dream Drop like have they introduce another state of being that just like if you're playing Kingdom Hearts, every other game, all the characters are having this ontological meltdown where they're like, what is the nature of my reality? What does it mean to be? Okay, we have a heartless. Now we have a heartless and a nobody. Now we have a heartless and a nobody. And there's these things called unversed. Now we also can do body snatching and ghosts can possess armor and like all that shit. And this one introduces the data people.
Yeah.
And it really, for me, I was like not, and like we kind of saw this start, the idea of like someone created from data. We kind of started seeing in Chain of Memories with Riku Replica. He is a being created from data, essentially. And then Kingdom Hearts 2, we have fucking Tron. Tron's there. It's data people in the data world. Like Nomura loves that stuff and it keeps showing up. And the idea that someone can be created from data or data like stored memories, like once again explodes that whole possibility space from like, here's a state of being that has to do with physical bodies and now souls and now hearts and now someone's will. And now you have added data of memories as a completely other like version of a person that you have to consider.
Right. Yeah.
It's a lot. Like it really
but
like yeah.
I do like, at least, you know, I found it novel, right? Like I didn't look up when this game was released, but like when I, you know, when you're going into the upgrade and you're putting in chips and you're connecting CPUs to, you know, better upgrade Sora, right? Like to me, like I just found it novel and it felt very much like 2010 a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like where like I don't know, it just felt like, oh, okay, like it's cool that like there's kind of like a through line of like, you know, technology and like a data type of, you know, way of looking at things. You're upgrading CPUs and stuff like that. You're like putting in chips and everything, and you're getting chips and like all that, right? So like I at least found it novel, and I didn't even think about the tie with Tron and that whole thing. So like that kind of blends in with that in a way, yeah. But I did find it somewhat novel, but yeah, like now when they you know gave is it just called, is he just called Data Sora? Is he?
Yep.
Is it just
Data Sora?
Yeah. So now I'm like, okay, like when they said it in the game, I'm like, okay, like this is gonna be probably more than just like this game, maybe. Like if we're giving him like a name, you know, like that at least to me felt beyond just oh yeah, okay, let's not confuse the player with like, no, this is an actual Sora, right? Like this is a recreation of the memories that, or really the journal that Jiminy was writing, I believe up until the end of Kingdom Hearts 2. At least from what I gathered. Right?
No,
Yeah.
it's
No.
no, this is that's Kingdom Hearts 1.
Oh, it's
Kingdom
just
Hearts 1
one?
and like yeah, well, yes.
Oh.
Because I remember after they entered Castle Oblivion, the journal.
Yeah. Okay. My bad. Kingdom Hearts 1. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
And like, you know, because here's the thing, like they like, I disagree with the kind of, well, I don't know, like, are you saying like the introduction of data stuff is bad, Alexa, or like what do you, did you like not like that?
I'm just saying that it's like one more thing you have to track and consider, because here's the thing. If the journal is up until Kingdom Hearts 1, Data Roxas exists. So that is interesting when you think about the implications of the fact that like Roxas is existing in this data, when if you are thinking about all the main characters involved up to the end of Kingdom Hearts 1, none of them knew that Roxas existed, but it also puts Roxas's creation like what was happening either in Sora's heart or what was going on in the metaphysical space after Sora was, you know, he that moment in Kingdom Hearts 1 when he, you know, becomes the Heartless, like gets Kairi's heart out, that whole thing.
Right.
That's Roxas's birth. That's when he was born.
Right.
So there's just all this implication of him existing in the data, knowing what he knows, when technically there should not be any record of him in the journal at this point. It's a lot to think about. And Naminé is there too. But she's we consider her like a memory witch or whatever. Like she's got special powers that no one else has. But that also has further implications. I want to revisit. I want to revisit Naminé, Data Naminé in her entirety when we finish Kingdom Hearts 3, because I think after Kingdom Hearts 3, we've seen what's up with Kairi. I think we fully understand who Naminé is and what the implications are of her power. Anyway, I don't know. It's one more thing to track, and then Dream Drop Distance introduces another thing, and then, you know, from there it's all just like spiraling out of control. I think it's interesting that Nomura considers, or Nomura, the team, the people that, you know, the people developing the story, that there are so many different states of being. One of the big themes of this series is that people are constantly questioning, what does it mean to be? The nobodies are like, oh, well, we need hearts, and then we can go, I guess, get car insurance or whatever the hell they want to be human for. And then you have the whole idea of like, to resurrect Xehanort, you have to essentially destroy his nobody and his heartless, and then they recompile, which is like such a weird thing. You think it would be the opposite. You destroy both, he's gone forever. So it introduces one more wrinkle into the question of what does it mean to be? Again, this game doesn't answer that question, but it is an interesting piece of it, I would say. And also, it's really interesting, I think, that the journal presents itself as Riku.
Yeah, that is definitely interesting.
Is there? Because damn, was that explained? Was that touched on? Because I did question that. I'm like, why specifically Riku? No, hey, I love my boy. I'm glad I was in the game. You know.
I have an idea, but I want to hear what Cam thinks first.
I just think it's like, because it's like Riku is like someone that Sora like looks up to, and like,
okay,
you know, he's kind of like, I don't want to say like his guide, but like
big brother.
I think
type
that he is
dynamic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, big brother type dynamic, and he is just like, if there was someone to be a personification of the journal, it would be him.
Yeah. Riku has always been, like, from the start of the series, Riku is Sora's lodestar. It is the barometer which he measures himself against. But also, when you're thinking about Sora physically, his physical journey through these games, it is Riku that is wanting to find, be with, save, whatever, Riku that pulls him forward. Kingdom Hearts 1 is he's looking for his friends, but he's like, Riku, like, where's Riku? And then when you finally get him in Hollow Bastion, he's like, oh, thank God, like, there you are. And then you think about Chain of Memories, the two of them sort of around each other in the Castle of Oblivion, and Sora's like, Riku's here somewhere, I have to find him. And then you think about Kingdom Hearts 2, where it's that whole, like, he's like, I need Kairi's, whatever, but he's just like, where is Riku? I have to find Riku. And then when he finds Riku, he full on breaks down that I looked everywhere for you, like him holding his hand, sobbing. Like, Riku is the person, and we see it in the flashbacks in Birth by Sleep. Like, Sora's just like, oh, you know, Riku, like, Riku's the best. And then here we are encoded, and Riku is our freaking journal. And then we'll see this theme continues through the rest of the games in the series. This will come up again in Dream Drop Distance in a big way. It's going to come up in 3. It's going to come up more. Riku is the physical force that is pulling Sora forward. Sora is self-motivated in a lot of respects, but all of the big leaps he has taken, Riku has been involved in some way. So of course, the journal, the data, the manifestation of why you are taking this journey is the person that put him on it, and the person that keeps him on it.
Yeah, and like, when you think about yeah, because like Sora is that was first off, that was perfectly said.
I'm a writer.
I was starting to I was starting to get I was starting to get I was starting to get emotional. Like if you were talking for like another 30 seconds, I probably would have teared up. But I think that yeah, like Sora is the person that Riku is the person that Sora always looks
It's
up
always
to.
about Riku. It's always
And
about Riku.
and when you think about that moment at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2 where um you know, he says like that whole having you for a friend thing, and he says, I guess I'm okay the way I am. It's like Sora realizing that he doesn't need to be better. He doesn't need to
No,
be where he
you're right.
thinks where he like thinks Riku is or anything like that. Like it is just like this subtle but like you know, like not it's not overly done. Just a very quaint way of being like I'm okay, like I am okay exactly how I am. I don't need to be anything different from this.
Mhm.
You know, cuz my friends accept me. Like that kind of
Because
mentality.
Riku accepts him.
Yeah. And
Riku.
like that I
Something
think
about
that's like
Riku.
something that like Sora has always wanted to hear
Yeah.
from Riku, is that like he is not I like and I'm not like even saying like his equal, even though I do think Riku does think that Sora is his equal. It's just thinking that like uh just again just acceptance of the person that he is, because they've always you know, they've been rivals. They're rivals. But like rivals out of love, not like out of and I think yeah, I think that Riku is just yeah, he is the one that pushes Sora forward. And that's why like he is a necessary character to like stay like to continuing on in the series. Like, you know, like Riku, like because I've seen some things like, oh, they don't need Riku anymore, or like you're fucking wrong. Like Riku is an incredibly important character, and while he's not like the main character, he is like, you know, equal, like he's just equally as important. So yeah.
More important than Kyrie. I said it.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you.
We'll get there. When we are done with this whole thing,
This
we need to have a conversation about Kyrie and Riku and the roles that they've played in Sora's journey, because I feel like
yeah.
a lot of people anticipate or expected like, oh, it's, you know, he loves Kyrie and he's going after her, and I'm like, get that heteronormative shit out of here. This is not a game about romance. This series is about friendship
You know,
specifically,
Yes,
and it's
it
this
is.
one.
I kind of feel you in that because I saw like some fan art, right? None like nothing crazy,
yeah?
like nothing crazy. No, like it was on Twitter, it was fine, like it was totally, you know, but it was like Sora and Kyrie type thing, and I'm like,
Sure.
like
Nah, dog.
I'm
You're
not
like
like seeing that,
nah.
like I'm not, I'm just, I mean, you know, hey, there, I saw more to play,
Like
obviously, but I'm like,
the best.
I'm not seeing that quite yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, if
The,
there is any really like in this whole entire franchise, like I'm like, yeah, I mean, you know,
like
like okay, but like
I still like Kyrie. Like I'm not gonna be a Kyrie hater,
I'm
but
not
what I
hating on
will say
Kyrie.
is like
Kyrie
that
has more personality.
the most that Kyrie has contributed to anything in Kingdom Hearts, at least so far, is the letter that she wrote to Sora that he finds at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2. Like that part, like her letter is
Right.
like a big part of what makes that ending perfect to me. Like I mean, like because I mean, like when I think about the ending, I'm thinking about like everything after like the Zemnis fight, like Riku and Sora on the beach, like Kyrie's letter, getting back to Destiny, like all of that is what I consider like the ending, not like when it just switches to the CGI and they're like landing on Destiny Island. So like I really like that, you know, the letter and like that Kyrie wrote and everything, especially because like she sent it like at such a different time in the game, and then he gets it so much later. But yeah, yeah, we're just talking about everything that isn't.
Anyway, yes. No, but I think this is an important point to make because I think that up to this, like, she's not really present
No.
in this game. She's not a
Yeah,
presence.
no.
She really hasn't been for a while, and she isn't really in Dream Drop distance. Like,
Yeah. Oh, she's she's basically absent in Dream Drop distance.
It's-
like so,
Damn,
yeah.
that's so odd. Like
these
that's so
it's not odd. It's not odd. When we talk about 3 and Melody of Memory,
okay.
I will explain to you my my deep feelings about what is essentially feels like an attempt on spinning up her character that both succeeded and failed in different ways.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay. I see. Yeah.
but this is like these games are about Riku and Sora. And if you've been listening to this podcast up to this point and you're like, nah, man, I really don't know what to tell you. Like, it's not subtext, it's just text. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, like, do you ship they're in love with each other? I don't know, maybe they could be, but the way that they're written and the way that this whole back and forth, like the dance they do around each other through this series, like, this is not even like Riku is not physically present here, and yet the memories of Sora, the data from those memories is conjuring him. Like,
Right.
he is the presence in
Yeah.
Sora's life.
Yeah.
The presence.
Yeah. I just feel like I just don't have like any
just it.
any tie to Kyrie. Any tie
Sure.
to Kyrie, like at this point. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think
No.
she gets mentioned.
I'm nodding. Cameron
Damn,
is
I'm trying
shaking
to
his head
think,
no. Like, we're like, yeah.
I think she gets mentioned like once in I think she gets mentioned in Recoded. I think.
She does.
I think
Maybe.
like passively. And I was like, oh yeah, like where the fuck is Kyrie? Yeah, no, I remember. Yeah,
It's really strange because
I don't
you
think
said,
she even talks at the end of the game when Sora's reading the king's letter, even though she's
doesn't
there.
talk.
Like,
yeah, she's there.
she
but
doesn't
talk.
talk.
Yeah.
you said that Kyrie's greatest contribution to the series, insofar as where we have played, was the letter. I think her greatest contribution has been Namine, because Namine
That's
is
true.
way more,
okay, well, I mean,
more
like, that's
powerful.
different. I don't feel like that's a little
She
different.
made a
But
whole nobody, man. Like,
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
like, and Namine is, again, when we get to the end, we will rediscuss, one of the most powerful characters in this game for several reasons. In the series for several reasons. So I don't know, whatever. Kyrie, take it or leave her. We probably won't talk about her again until we get to 3 because
we'll talk about her in
whatever.
Dream Drop. There's
Yeah.
one specific thing in
What?
Dream Drop, but it's at the time it was.
I
hype.
roll. No, it wasn't. I rolled my eyes and I was like, oh, of course.
Oh,
of course.
come on.
Stupid. I was like, this is dumb. Anyway.
So let's talk about the ending, and I mean like specifically like Castle Oblivion and the stuff after that, because we were talking about Roxas, and like here's the thing with like Roxas is that like Naminé, like I feel like because like Roxas would have been created by Naminé. I think like
Okay, when you say created, do you mean
like the Data Roxas would have been created by the Naminé.
you're talking about Data
in the-
Roxas? Okay, I thought you meant
Yeah, the
Roxas.
Data-
Roxas. And
What?
my head.
Roxas was made? You were just like
No, like I don't know. Like we are pinpointing Roxas's birth because he exists in this data. Pinpointing his birth at when Sora did that separation, but there are some super wild ass fan theories out there that while Sora was being recompiled, she created Roxas, and that's when the 358 over 2 days starts. Like she made him. She made him as like a lesson for Sora, as a whatever, and then all of this stuff spiraled out of control, and that's why Naminé and Roxas have such a tight connection. I don't like that. That freaks me out a lot. Like the idea that she would be like, I'm gonna force this separation and make this happen
Oh,
while I am
no.
also recompiling Sora. Because
Yeah,
it was a
'cause, I mean, 'cause
way
we're, like,
to
because
put
we know
Sora
that,
to sleep.
like-
We're not doing
Yeah,
that though.
I mean, because like we know that like
He was born
like-
in Kingdom Hearts 1. He was born in Kingdom Hearts 1.
well, No, because Roxas was found by Xemnas.
Yeah, but Xemnas did exist at this point.
Ansem wasn't gone though yet.
Ansem and Xemnas existed at the same time. Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
What? I don't.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No.
Hey, I
When-
don't know. I'm gonna let y'all. Hey, comment down below what y'all think. Did
Okay. No. This is this
Down
is
below,
some.
what do you think?
All right, we're gonna talk about how nobodies are made, kids. When the separation happens into the heartless and the nobody,
Right.
they exist from that moment. They are co-created. So when Ansem, the heartless that you fight, the big boss of Kingdom Hearts 1, was created in that same moment that the separation occurred is when Xemnas was created.
I thought it was when a Heartless is destroyed.
that's what I thought too, low key.
No,
Yeah.
because when you destroy a heartless and a nobody,
Okay.
then the person
Comes
comes back because the
That
heartless
is when
is,
that's when the Heartless and the Nobody are destroyed. Then their
Yeah,
self are recreated.
but the nobodies are like, we don't have hearts because the heartless is the heart. The heart is the essence of who you are, becomes who you feel you are, and that's why Terranort became
No, yeah. So
Ansem, because that's who
you were correct.
oh shit.
No, you are correct.
Okay.
When a Heartless is made, so is a Nobody.
And
The
then
same
yeah,
thing.
and then Xemnas found. So
Has to be
while all
a
this shit's going on-
strong-willed creature.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the other caveat is it has to be a strong-willed individual. Otherwise, you do not create a nobody. So Sora's nobody, Roxas, was found by Xemnas. So all of that was
Yeah.
happening
Yeah.
concurrently.
Yeah. So, yeah. So I think that Nominee would have known. So like the whole going back to the whole Nominee, I feel like such a fake fan now. I didn't know about the Nobody. I misremembered the Nobody shit. But
The series is a lot. It's fine. We've gotten this far. It's
But no,
totally
so like Nominee, so there would have been enough time for Nominee to know who Roxas was before Sora got to Castle Oblivion.
exactly. Which
And
is
so
why
like I think at that point she like created Data Roxas at that time.
yeah.
Yeah.
I do not like the idea that she made Roxas. That really like skeeves me out in a lot of ways.
No, that'd be wild. That'd be
Nope.
wild.
Those
but
fans out there, you weirdos.
yeah. But yeah, so I think that makes sense. Like I think that makes sense. Or it's like a realistic thing to believe. Listen, again, Kingdom Hearts isn't perfect. We love the conspiracy galaxy brain bullshit, and but I really liked how Roxas served as its like antagonist for Data Sora at the end of the game, and how like he was basically trying to make him understand like what it means to hurt, and like there's this really interesting idea that like because this isn't like this Roxas seemingly like has memories about real Roxas and like
And Shion, he
and
remembers
like,
Shion, which is crazy.
and Axel, like this feels like Roxas if he like went down a dark path kind of like thing. Like he feels very like he's kind of given up on everything. He's given up on like he has like no hope, and he's trying to like kind of like gaslight Sora into like thinking the same Data Sora into thinking the same way. And just like the way that he's just like if I have to hurt a little bit to like remember my friends and to remember like the good with the and like but still have to remember the bad, like then that's worth it to me. And that was like the point where Roxas was just like, all right, like you win, like, and he's just kind of, he's kind of just like shocked by it all. I just think that was like a very like I was surprised because again it's just been such a long time, and some of the stuff oh shit oh shit, I should have mentioned this to you, Kevin, but you didn't but I didn't realize it until I looked it up right before the podcast. There are scenes that are exclusive to the 2.5 like movie at the very end that you may not have seen, which sucks because I was going to
That's
talk about
tough.
that shit.
That's very.
I was
tough.
going to talk about that shit. But
I feel like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
probably talk about it. Yeah, it's fine. It's
oh
fine.
yeah,
Go
we'll
for
talk
it.
about it. But you should
Yeah.
watch the scene too. And I want you to go into conspiracy mode because Alexa knows, like Alexa's gonna know what I'm talking about, but you won't. And so, but I just, yeah, I really liked that kind of like, even though it's like in a data space, it's like this kind of internal struggle or like that Sora is going with, like, and is nobody being the source of that. Like, I just think that's really compelling.
What did I tell you about this series just being an ontological meltdown? Like every single one.
Oh, that's like all of Chain of Memories. Like Chain of Memories, like that's like the whole story, and it's like it's one of my favorites of the whole series. But I just think I really discounted like the value that this game has when it comes to the story, and like with Naminé being like, hey, like here are the rest of Sora's memories that like I didn't think he was like ready to have, or I thought that he wouldn't be able to take because it would be too painful for him, and like and just like having Mickey there to support him and like having like that emotional support, right? It's like kind of like really actual mental health shit.
Yeah,
and
no,
like
very much.
and
So.
having
Yeah.
like a support system
Very
to like
much so.
back you.
This scene that you are referencing,
Yeah.
this whole space sets up like I had a good solid guess about what was going to happen in the next game based on this exchange. This was the exchange where I was like, uh-oh. Our boy is uh-oh. So we can revisit
Like,
this. Next episode.
that part is fine in Dream Drop. It's a lot of other stuff about Dreams.
Well, I do. We hate the same thing. We do not like the same things about Dream Drop. But the thing I think it did really well is the examination of like Sora's mental well-being at this point in time. Like I think the game did because I remember going into that game being like I had played I played Code and everything, and I'm like, are the kids all right? Like,
Yeah.
And then what happened, and I just think it was. In hindsight, the older I have got, at the time I was like, this is really fucking stupid. And as time has gone on, I have recognized, and the series has gone on, I have recognized the true, like, meaning of that moment and how it plays into the rest of the journey and a lot of the themes that came up in the later Kingdom Hearts games. Because this moment right here with, again, like Gaslight, Data Roxas, and the moment you are referencing, was when I think the dark turn happened. Like the more introspective, like, are you okay? Like started coming up more.
Sora becomes a lot more openly emotional.
Yeah.
Moving forward in the series, in Dream Drop and 3. And for for the better. It makes him a lot more interesting of a character in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
And like again, we do see parts of that in like Chain of Memories especially, and that like the end of Kingdom Hearts 2, but I think especially in Chain of Memories, it's very like he's very naive. It's like a lot like there's definitely a level of like naiveness to the emotions that he's lashing out on, and just being manipulated throughout the entire game. But yeah, I think yeah, I think Recoded, like it's still like it's not like it's still probably like my least favorite game in the series, but like I would have more fun replaying it than I would like 358. Like I think it's, you know, because there's just such a leap in like quality there with when it comes to the gameplay. Um and I do want to talk about the ending because it does also help set up um Dream Drop, where basically so Kevin, tell me everything that you saw in like the final cut scenes, just so like
Um,
that you remember. So like just like the certain scenarios, you don't have to go into like detail. Like so you like you saw Mickey write the letter to
yeah,
Sora.
and then him
Did you see
narrating the
Mickey?
letter.
Yeah, did you see
Yeah.
Mickey and Yen Sid talking?
That fucking
Okay.
happens.
Okay.
That fucking
So
Yen Sid?
yeah, so after that,
That
Mickey goes to Yen
happens?
Sid and he's basically telling Mickey that there is a potential threat of there being multiple Xehanorts that, you know, Sora and like all the Keyblade wielders may have to take on in the future. And Mickey's just like, what? How? Like, you know, all that type of thing. And Yen Sid tells him to bring Sora and Riku to him so that they can prove their mark of mastery. So that is what.
Does that ring a bell, Kevin?
Do you remember what the mark of mastery
Yeah.
is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like for those that are listening that don't remember, that is the test that Aqua and
Yeah.
Terra took at the beginning of Birth by Sleep.
Wait.
It's
Yeah.
the test that you have to take to become a Keyblade master.
They're going to Keyblade College to finish their Keyblade thesis a little
Fuck.
early so they
I
can get out
So-
there
I
and
wish I
fight
saw
So-
that. Damn.
So Dream Drop is Sora and Riku taking the mark of mastery.
Oh, that's what we're doing?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Don't get
shit.
too excited.
Oh.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
there's some bullshit. Some bullshit is coming for you. Like, just
Damn,
you.
And this isn't.
Wait.
That sounds
and
so
thi-
hype. That
and this
sounds
isn't
so
even-
good.
This isn't even
How
the,
could it be bad,
the hi-
guys? It sounds good.
There's a
this
lot.
isn't even-
There's good shit. The worlds,
Yeah.
I think, the worlds in Dream Drop, I think that was the last Kingdom Hearts game where I was like, this is the best selection of worlds. This is fucking
They're so
awesome.
good.
Like,
There's
they're
only
so
one world I
good.
don't like. There's only one world I don't like. But like I don't really care for the prankster world. I don't. It's fine.
Uh-oh.
The
Oh,
Pinocchio one.
I thought that was so unhinged. I was here for it.
Oh, I don't like it. All the other ones are like. The thing that's really cool about Dream Drop is like not all of them, not like all of what you would probably be thinking, but Dream Drop is a great game in the sense of like, hey, you know, like some of those Disney worlds that you wanted, like after like post Kingdom Hearts 2, where you're like, oh, I really want these worlds next. Well, not all, but some of these worlds are in Dream Drop distance.
Plus some
And it's-
absolute wild cards.
Okay,
that
There's
you would
some-
never
Yeah,
in a
there's
million
some
years guess.
wild cards, but they're bangers. They're
Be-
They are.
great.
Okay.
They're all
Yeah, I
bangers.
really like the worlds in Dream
That
Drop.
that's good to hear because like I think like another thing about Recoded is like I think this it was the first time I felt during this playthrough, during this journey of going through these games where I really felt like okay, like Agrabah. Like,
You need a
You
new
know, I'm
you
like,
want a new
I'm
Slate,
like-
yeah.
I'm like, damn, like we're doing
If
Wonderland
I-
again. I'm like, yo, like
I
it's
had to go to-
cool, but I'm like,
So
is
You gotta go to Hollow Bastion one more time. You're gonna
Yeah, I
blow
was
it,
like- I was like, yo.
forget this.
like I
Here's
didn't
what
want
I'll
to
say.
like I just didn't want to like be like too overly negative about it, you know, but
You were
I can't
tired
lie,
of it.
but like I did feel like damn, like is this like all like this can't be like the main
Yeah.
and only DNA of Kingdom Hearts. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you know, and like
No,
I
you're-
know it's not true because we've had other worlds that aren't these,
Yeah.
you know, but these definitely felt like like I just felt like I was kind of like retreading grounds, you know, and like I know that's the kind of main point of Recoded, right? Is fixing all these memories
Yeah.
and fixing these glitches and everything. So I get that there is that factor of it, but it did feel a little bit like like I'm kind of like
Yeah, you're doing Kingdom Hearts 1 again.
Yeah,
you
I'm
know?
like
yeah.
damn, like Yeah.
You only in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance of the Disney worlds, you only revisit one, and
That's
it
hype.
is in a different part of the timeline of that world.
Ooh, okay, interesting.
Tron.
What?
It's Tron. You go back to the grid, but it's
Oh
fuck
yeah,
Fuck
yeah.
That's it.
Hell yeah, okay.
So spoiler.
Tron.
One of the worlds is Tron Legacy.
Yeah, it's Tron. It's Tron.
live
like the
action-
Jeff
Oh,
Bridges
the
movie?
live action,
Jeff
yeah.
Bridges.
Is
Like,
Jeff Bridges in it?
Jeff
Bridges in it? Okay, let's go.
Yeah, dude.
Let's go.
It's really cool.
Let's go.
it like
Let's go.
I like that also came out like Dream Drop Distance came out when Legacy was still also fresh, which is why like I like the Disney worlds you will see in 3 are also very much chosen for currency and popularity. Like moving forward, I think that's what the franchise is going to be. It's going to be Disney going, okay, what is the most popular, but also brand synergy? What is coming out around this game
Right.
that we can,
Yeah.
you know,
I think the only I think I only know Frozen and Toy Story.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so
Okay.
I think those are the only
Ah.
2 ones I know in 3 that like
Oh,
I've seen like
shit.
screenshots of and stuff like that.
So in
I
general,
think that's it.
the only 2
I think.
worlds that you will return to moving forward are Traverse Town
Okay.
and Twilight Town.
Okay.
And that includes Disney World. So everything else is gonna be new game for you.
Forgot Destiny Islands.
Oh, well,
Right.
and
Yeah.
Destiny
Yeah.
Island,
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything else is new.
So you can expect like it gets fresh after
Yeah.
like starting with Dream Drop. So like part of me was like, man, I kind of want to hop on Dream Drop right after this podcast, but I'm interested to return to Dream Drop and like and think about how I feel about that game. But so there is one other scene that is exclusive to the 2.5. So like if you played Coded, like you're listening to this and you played Coded and you didn't just watch the cutscenes, you have some cutscenes to watch. Like look up the ending and then like with the HD and it should have these endings. But there's an ending where you're in the room where Tron, like in Kingdom Hearts 2 is the control room.
Yeah.
And it's Bragg. So like Zigbar's somebody.
That guy, my God, what an amazingly written.
So you know the
villain.
dude with the purple hair with like that's like kind of like.
Fuck.
As if.
you gotta remember. He's gotta look it up really quick.
He's the one that follows up everything he says with as if.
Yeah, as if.
As if.
Bragg. How would I even spell that?
Bragg.
Braig.
BR.
He's like the first one to let himself get Norded.
me
He's
see,
like,
let me
I
see.
got
He's in
Norded.
Brooklyn, yeah, he's in
Oh,
Brooklyn.
him.
cool.
Oh, him.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Bet. Okay, got it.
So
Okay,
it's him.
got it.
And you notice that he still only has one eye, like because
Right.
of Terra, but his good eye is yellow now.
Uh-oh.
That's something
That's
worth
it.
mentioning. And you basically see all of the bodies of the somebodies from Organization 13. Not all of them, but like most of them, and they're all just kind of like knocked out on the ground. They're all unconscious on the ground. And then there's this hooded figure, camera rises up, and it looks what happens to look like a young Xehanort. And they're talking about keyblades and stuff. He's talking about Xehanort's keyblade. And Alexa, I just gotta say, like, completely out of context for Kevin, Nomura is galaxy braining in this moment. Like, he planted the seeds so early. Like, I did not this is at the latest he could have planned shit for the Lost Master arc. Like, he was already planning this from coded. From what, 2013?
2010?
When did
Oh,
2.5 come out?
Oh, recoded. Oh.
When did that come out?
Oh my
2014.
God.
So
2014.
at least from 2014, he has been planting the seeds for the Lost Master arc. Insane galaxy brain Nomura's doing, and like someone's got to remind me once we get to the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 to go back to this moment and like tell Kevin why I think this. And it's not something that like it's a visual thing. Like you can tell like from a bit like the way that it's shot, you're like, oh, he's doing the thing right now. And so yeah, and this is like something that you couldn't even remotely guess, even if you did see the scene, Kevin, because none of the stuff has even been introduced.
Yeah,
introduced
it's all just
yet.
out of context. Yeah, okay.
It's all out of context.
Seeing that, and just being like, no, I like, fuck, like just I full body clenched. I was like, oh my God, we're in for it.
He knew what he was doing. He was cooking.
He is a master narrative designer. Again, like one of the absolute like masterminds of this industry. And I know people like to shit on Kingdom Hearts and be like, oh, it's Japanese RPGs are so weird. No, dude, you're just too stupid to figure out the galaxy brain absolute mastermind of puzzle pieces and breadcrumb trails that is behind them. It is the reason when I learned that Nomura was working on the 7 remake, and then I played 7 remake and saw that they are changing the story and doing something different with it, while I was like, it is in good hands. It's going to be good. It's going to be great, because he is very, very, very good at misdirection and like fucking, he's like the master of Chekhov's gun, like all of those things. Like, dude is a absolute master of this kind of stuff.
Can we just take a second?
And you're gonna
I agree.
Yes.
Can we just take a second?
Sure.
Take a second. Alexa, Rebirth looks so good. Alexa, it looks so good.
I know.
You know, it looks so good.
I want them to kiss. I want them to kiss. I want them to
so
kiss.
good,
I want them to
guys.
kiss.
It looks so good.
It looks really, really, really good.
Oh, I
I'm really excited to see that whole, because again, you didn't play the original. This is your first.
No, once you played the remake,
it was remake.
He played the original.
Oh no! I am confusing you with someone who has only played Dirge of Cerberus and then played remake. Which
no.
Which is a big bad.
I played
big
Dirge.
Bad.
I played.
I did too.
Man.
Yeah.
Oof, man.
Why?
Man. Man.
It does. It looks really good. It looks really good, and like I have seen the deep internet comments, because people love to send me when people shit on Kingdom Hearts and be like, go fight them, and I'm like, no, I'm a professional, I can't do that. When they're like, oh, like this looks like it's some Nomura Kingdom Hearts bullshit with the retconning and the new story and the whispers and like, shut up and take it. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be wonderful. And if it doesn't make sense to you, it's because you're not thinking hard enough. Like, I'm gonna throw that down right now. Like, these are smart people games, sir. Like,
listen,
please enjoy.
We're gonna have to have a conversation when it comes to Kingdom Hearts 3. Then I feel like, because
yes, because 3 was a victim of brand synergy.
I don't think that's not
and a development
about.
and a tumultuous development cycle.
I don't think I don't.
You and I don't like the same things about that game. It is the way certain worlds were handled.
No. This is what what I dislike about Kingdom Hearts 3. Like,
yeah.
Without going into specifics, because it's just like there's no point. I just like it. Kingdom Hearts 3 just feels like a soft reboot of like, which is like the end of like an ongoing, like such a long ongoing story that like it took. It did some things and sacrificed for new players, which I really did not like, and I think it really hurts that game.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll talk about it. We're talking about a bunch of different things, but yeah. So like, my last spiel on Coded. I think we're too hard on it. I think it's a solid game. I enjoyed my time playing it outside of a few bosses. Um, it does some cool things with the Keyblade mechanics I really like. Um, the while the story and how it impacts the world of like the ongoing story of Kingdom Hearts, not a whole lot, but I really liked a lot of the dialogue that was happening, a lot of the conversations that were happening with characters. And yeah, I'm gonna start defending Coded a little bit more.
Uh-oh.
Like I think that if you didn't play Coded yet, like recently, and you're listening to this episode, play it. Play it like with the things that we've been talking about in mind, and I think you're gonna be like, you know what? I think like this did get a bad rap. Like again, I think it is one of the weaker Kingdom Hearts games, but I think this is a solid game. I think this is a good game. It's just, you know, it's just doing very specific things that really they're not what you're looking for in a Kingdom Hearts game. I think that's like the best way to describe it. But like if you just take the game for what it is, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, like I'm so love hate I
Sure.
we all said we love the Keyblade stuff, right? Like I think
Yeah.
they had some really cool ideas there. I really like that. Probably the highest praise I have for this game is maybe to a lesser degree the sheer like, hey, like, you know, again, like I feel like even with 358 as well involved, right? Like I said similar things about 358 where like I feel like there's still a level of impressiveness that they were able to translate that Kingdom Hearts gameplay to a much weaker system overall, right? And to a mobile form factor, and still, I feel like generally speaking, still make it feel like Kingdom Hearts gameplay. I still think that's something that is not what I expected going into these mainline game. Well, not I guess technically mainline, but like these core games that are kind of on branching systems that aren't on a regular console, right? I will give it that, but I think my highest praise and I think the most memorable part of this game, at least to me, is the really, really cool change of genres in this game, right? Like I think when it went to 2D, I was like, damn, like this is cool. Like, you know, it didn't feel like the greatest 2D game I ever felt it didn't feel like the greatest 2D experience I ever played in my life, but like I still enjoyed that little switch up. I genuinely enjoyed the turn-based stuff on the Coliseum.
Yeah.
I really, yeah. I made a tweet. Cam knows a tweet. He saw it, but like I would love to see a full turn-based game someday. You know, like I think there's enough elements in the franchise to kind of make it work, and like I think it was. I really like that, you know, but just overall,
That's not a
yeah. Go ahead.
That's not a mobile game. That's not a mobile game because like Union Cross is kind of turn-based, not in this like not in the traditional sense, but
Okay.
it kind of was.
Interesting.
But like
Oh, I
that
can't
game
wait to.
does not. Well, I mean, it's not that it doesn't exist anymore.
It
It's just you can't
doesn't.
play it on. Yeah, I thought you just can't play it online anymore.
You can't, but also like, like just watch cutscenes from it.
Yeah,
Just
no,
go
no,
on
no,
funny
no.
and
Like
watch all the
just like
cutscenes.
I love Kingdom Hearts. I don't like mobile games. I would just say like when we get to that point, we're just like we'll talk a little bit about what the gameplay was, but we're just really talking about the story on that one. But what I wanted to say about the Olympus Coliseum thing is like I don't know if you know this, but I think you can go to like the final fight in that world without Cloud. You can like just miss Cloud and just. I didn't do that, like, because
The look on your face, Kevin. Why would you ever miss
Wait,
Cloud?
I didn't realize that was even possible.
Well, because like, did you recruit Cloud?
Yeah. No,
yeah.
of course.
Well,
Yeah.
so, like-
yeah. I
so,
didn't know
like,
that
you
you
can't-
couldn't do it. Yeah, like
So like
there's
when
ways
I got
do
to the door where you would like go to fight Cerberus and Hades,
it. Uh-huh.
It was the same exact prompt, if it like before I picked up Cloud, and it just. You know, instead of just Hercules and Sora, it was Hercules, Sora, and Cloud. when you were like, "Oh, are you ready to go in there?" Like that. So I think you can like recruit.
Interesting.
Like you can just skip recruiting Cloud, which would make that fight a lot harder.
Oh, way
but,
harder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But
interesting.
still,
Interesting.
it's just a fun little fact that or thing that I observed.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and-
go on.
Yeah. It's so like, I think overall, because I'll give some context too, right? Like, Alexa, I mean, every Kingdom Hearts fan that said, yeah, next up, we're, playing Recoded. It's always the, it's always the,
I
like, you know what I'm saying?
know,
It's like,
I
it's like, hey man, like, this is the low point, you know? Everyone
point.
said that. I didn't have one person be like, no, like, it's pretty good. There's some good. It was all just bad. And like, I don't think it's all bad. I think we've
Yeah.
laid out positives in the game, right? But yeah, like in the inverse of me saying that, like, I think the variety of gameplay, yeah, I think the variety of gameplay is probably my favorite part of this game. I think one of the most weakest parts, I think, is just like, I just feel like there was a lot of that feeling of retreading old ground, right? And I
Yeah.
kind of
Yes.
want to reconcile that because, like, I understand, like, that is kind of the whole premise of the game, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
It is.
yeah,
Yeah.
that, like, so it's like, are you really going to be mad at what it is if this is what it is, you know? So there is part of me that's like, doesn't want to knock it too bad. I just can't fully overcome that. Like, I really did feel like I was going through the same motions, you know, until we get to Castle Oblivion, where we get, you know, some substantial new stuff. Like, there, yeah. I think I think that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
So like, I'm so like
Yeah.
iffy on it. Like, I guess objectively, this is probably my least favorite, you know?
Sure.
But
sure. I think
I do think there are really good positives in this game. Yeah.
I think that a lot of people, a lot of the reactions that you got, I think a lot of people, including people that say they're Kingdom Hearts fans, eye roll at the non-mainline games. Like, there is a lot of people who I know who are like, oh, I love Kingdom Hearts. Oh, I didn't play anything beyond 1, 2, and 3. Like, that's just like too many games. And I'm like, well, you're a fake. When Kingdom Hearts,
We're not gatekeeping here. We're not.
no,
we're
not
gatekeepers.
anymore. But I was like, how dare you? When like a lot of the discourse moving up to Kingdom Hearts 3 was, if you were, reading a lot of the games media at that time and just a lot of like influencer stuff, like content creators, there was a lot of talk about like, like Kingdom Hearts 3 is mainstream and there's a lot of hype around it. So I'm going to play it. I've never played a Kingdom Hearts game. Like, am I going to understand it? And we were all like, no, like, you're really not going to get it. Like, you're going to be frustrated. You're going to hate it. You're going to have a lot of feelings about it. But there was a lot of like, I don't want to play all of the side games to understand what's going on. And that was this big criticism. And I was like, look, I didn't hear any of you saying that about, like, I don't know, Metal Gear. Like, go play all of the freaking games.
Bro,
Cam got up this man.
I'm so glad you said. I'm
you were
so
not
glad you
watching,
said that.
I'm
I'm
just
so
battle
glad you
for
said that. Yo, listen up. If you like Metal Gear and you don't like Kingdom Hearts and you complain about Kingdom Hearts story, but you like Metal Gear, something's wrong with you. Something is fucking wrong with you. They're the same fucking thing.
Yes, sir.
They're the same fucking thing, and I'm done being like. Okay, I am not gonna call out this person.
Do it.
I'm
I'm
not gonna call this person.
We're
out.
an hour and 43, bro. He's not gonna hear it, bro.
No, I'm not gonna do it. But I know there's someone in this industry who I like, who loves Metal Gear, but isn't, like, they're fine about Kingdom Hearts. I don't know the right adjective as of right now to explain like how they feel about Kingdom Hearts. Like, they don't hate it, but they do like to make fun of it. But also, I'm just like,
can you put it in the chat?
But then I say like, dude, it's the same thing as Metal Gear. And then like they DM'd me and they're just like, don't you ever like bring that up to me again. And I was just like,
who came for
like,
you?
I'm not trying to like start a fight. I'm just telling you the truth.
Chat, Cam.
Put it in the truth.
Put it in
You
the
come for my
chat.
boy. I need to know.
Put it in the chat. I won't say it out loud, but just put it in the chat.
I put it in the chat.
Put
Wait,
it-
But
Wait, on
but I put
on Discord there.
On Discord, yeah.
Oh wait.
Um,
Okay.
but
can't look at
yeah,
it.
and I'm just like, and like I have a local friend who loves both franchises, and he's like, oh yeah, they're very similar. What are you talking about? Like what is he talking about? Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's not a job. It's like it's not an insult to say it's not an insult to say that something is similar to Kingdom Hearts. Like to me that like Metal Gear, like I've played the Metal Gear games. I'm like, these are very, not all of them, but I've played like the first two, and I'm like, these are very, like, the storytelling is very similar to Kingdom Hearts.
I agree.
The setup,
I agree.
the intricacies,
I agree.
the puzzle
I agree.
pieces,
The more
the thinking. It's
Mhm.
very cerebral. It's a very cerebral series. Kingdom Hearts is a cerebral series, but the difference between Metal Gear and Kingdom Hearts is about feelings.
Yeah.
Very deeply about feelings. And also I think the reason people get pissy when you compare the storytelling tenets of Metal Gear and Kingdom Hearts is because Kingdom Hearts has Disney on it, and for some reason people are like, oh, Disney is for children, and also Final Fantasy was involved, and Final Fantasy is for weirdos. Listen, I saw criticisms of Final Fantasy 16, amazing game, came out this year, like people being like, oh, after the second half of the game, it devolved into quote unquote Kingdom Hearts bullshit. And what I say to that is Kingdom Hearts started based on Final Fantasy storytelling tenets, and the only Final Fantasy games we got up to that point was Final Fantasy X. So you are playing Kingdom Hearts is a series based on the classic era of Final Fantasy. What the fuck are you talking about? It is absolutely a Final Fantasy game because that's where Kingdom Hearts' DNA came from. Like, please.
It's no, dude, like there's so much unnecessary, like just wrong ill will about Kingdom Hearts.
Kevin,
and, like,
you're gonna have to clip this and post this. Like,
and it's another thing about Nomura. Like Nomura in the West does not get the level of respect that he deserves. Like
no,
like,
he doesn't.
Like the way that people prophesize Hideo Kojima, I'm like, that should be the same. Like that is the same level as Nomura to me.
Yeah,
like, in my opinion.
They are the same level of storytelling.
Like I'm not saying that Nomura is the same level as like Miyamoto. I'm not saying that, but I do think like, you know, like if I had to like tier out a bunch of legendary developers, like I would put Miyamoto at the top, of course. But like Nomura's on the same level as Kojima. Like I like we should be getting like Tetsuya Nomura game. Like that like he has earned that throughout the years. And not only does direct games, he does the story. He'll do the story. Like sometimes he'll actually write it. He does character design. Like Cloud is from Nomura.
He's Nomura.
He just it's just ridiculous. Because I remember I'm not gonna say who I was talking to about this. They're also a big Kingdom Hearts fan, and this was at SGF, and we're in a room with a bunch of people that were in the games industry, and we're talking about this, and I was just telling like, yo, dude, Nomura does not get the respect that he deserves, and they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, oh, I think he's like a legend. I was like, oh yeah, me too. I'm like, yeah, but if we asked everyone in this fucking room right now to raise their hand if they think that Nomura is a legend, like a legendary game developer, like I would say maybe a quarter of this room would raise their hand. And I was like, it's true though. Like I feel like if you ask most people in the games industry, hey, like, do you think Nomura is a legendary game developer? Most people would say no, and I think that's crazy. It is crazy. And again, like, I am biased. Sure, I am biased, but like, I think it's crazy. Like,
you're not biased. You enjoy his stuff.
But even like it's but because you have that. But even so, like Yoshinori Kitase, legendary developer in my opinion. Like he
agree. Yes.
He directed 2 of the biggest JRPGs of all time, like Final Fantasy 6 and 7. Like. There's just so many people that I just feel like if you're not Kojima or Miyamoto or like someone from Nintendo, you just don't get the level of respect that you deserve in at least in the West.
It's a bias. It's a bias over like, oh, like those because Final Fantasy was seen as like, oh, it's like the nerdy JRPG series, and then Kingdom Hearts is, oh, it's like Final Fantasy and Disney, which are
kids.
2 super kids nerdy thing, and it's like the level, the depth of the themes. I wrote a whole fucking book about it. Like the depth of the theming is very adult. Speaking of,
Yeah, so end of the podcast, we made it. If you don't follow me or Alexa on Twitter, which you should, at Cam Final Mix or at Alexa Ray C, right? Is that correct? Yeah. Alexa and I are writing a book together.
We are.
Yeah.
Guess what it's about?
And it's about Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
And we are still in the very like early process of this book. It definitely will not come out any earlier than 2025. So like, you don't have to really worry about it if you're looking forward to that book.
Oh my god, my biggest nightmare is that like Missing Link comes out and like blows up a bunch of our like.
Well, we're only doing it on the Xehanort Saga. That's
We are
like,
doing
we're only
the
doing it
Xehanort
on
Saga.
the Dark Seeker Saga. Nothing regarding like, so basically like everything.
It's not forward facing.
From like 1 to 3, and like probably none of the Union Cross stuff. Like outside of like maybe some like the Keyblade War and like what happened with that. Like maybe that will be in there somewhere, but like just don't expect anything that's like more set up for the Lost Masters arc that's happened recently. There's there's like specific stuff that we want to do, but we are still working on making that become a reality. But as of right now, you can expect this to kind of be like personal essays, maybe like some theses or something like that, theses on certain stuff. But
Really nice, yeah.
Yeah, it's not gonna be a long book. We're expecting it to be like.
I mean, it might be.
I mean, it might be, but like we're kind of thinking it might be around like 200 pages, right? Like something like if that. I don't know. Like, it really just depends. It really depends on like if the things that we want to do happen, then that will actually like shift things pretty significantly, or it could. But like right now, we're kind of just we've thought about like ideas that we want to write about. We're both been like writing a little bit, like to like and sharing some stuff back and forth. But yeah, just we're writing a book. It's coming out when it comes out.
It's gonna be fun.
Follow us on Twitter, and that's where you're gonna get any sort of updates. But we have all of next year to write the book. And we're going to take all of next year because Alexa can write a book in 2 weeks. I cannot. So, but I cannot. I need a lot of time. I'm a slow writer. So, but yeah, it's going to be, it's very exciting. And there's not a, again, I'm not going to get sappy right now, but I will say like, no. I'm just saying like before I was in this industry, like, you and John, I've said this before, like you and Jonathan were like the two people that like gave me like, the hope of like finally some people that actually know Kingdom Hearts in this industry. Cause like, I was watching like IGN and like Kind of Funny and like, I was watching What's Good when you were on What's Good and like all this stuff. And I was like, finally some like educated people that are because people say so much bullshit about Kingdom Hearts, so much stuff that you're like, you obviously did not play these games.
Yeah.
It's just like, and there was your book, and I was like, I had your book, and I was just like, yeah, and it's just and I have thought about it recently, like, man, I would really like to write a book, just be able to be like, yeah, I've written a book, like, I just want that under my belt, you know what I mean?
And you will.
And yeah, and yeah, and like I kind of like honestly kind of rudely, I was just like, can I help you with your book? Like, just like we met at GDC, and I knew that like because Jared Petty, friend of the show, like helped us get this book deal with Limited Run, and that's when I met Jared in person for the first time, and I knew that he was going around writing books, and I was just, and I think you were already talking about it to me. I don't even remember, but I was just so, and then that was when we first met in person too.
Yes.
And then like I asked if I could help you, and then you're just like, yes, let's do it. And I'm like, oh my god, you're actually serious. And so
yeah, you thought you were just gonna like do a little thing. I full on was like, nope, you're writing this with me. Like we're doing it together. And then we got the contract and here we are.
Yeah, yeah.
I
And
love it.
yeah, I just feel, very honored that you're putting your trust in me. And
Of course. There's no one else I would want to write this with, to be completely frank. Like, I'm very excited that we're doing this.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure you got other Kingdom Hearts friends.
No.
You
They don't,
writing your
they don't know it like you know it, bud. Like, trust me.
Okay.
It's gonna be.
Okay.
This is gonna be. Yes, for real. Like, this is gonna be like when they were like, "Hey, would you want to do another one where you thought about the themes and the characters and whatever and whatnot?" And then we started talking, and you were like, "Can I help you write it?" Literally, it was like I had like my galaxy brain kicked in, and I was like, "Oh no, this is perfect," because I know it's gonna be the best it can be, and it's gonna have depth, and we're gonna be able to clearly articulate in 200 or so pages why people need to give Kingdom Hearts more credit. And I think now is a good time to do it with 3 out, with the Dark Seeker Saga closed, with 4 somewhere on the horizon, with the franchise obviously continuing. Like, that series is very, very powerful, and there's going to be more interest in the future. And I think if there was ever people who could actually give it justice, like, I got friends in games media, but I'm sorry, all of you, none of you are going to ever do it this justice. So we are going to do it justice.
Wow. I feel unworthy of your words, but yeah, no, it's exciting, and again, just like this is like legitimately a dream come true type thing for me. So to be able to do this book with you, Alexa. So I'm very excited.
I definitely.
Well, Kingdom Hearts is about bonds, and we have bonds.
And friendships and light and darkness.
Yes, and we're gonna make a crazy book because of it.
I didn't want to say, when y'all told me this a few months ago, I was like, this is like I did not expect y'all to be like that was what you two are working on. I think it's great. Huge congrats to both of you. Do we have a name? You know what I'm saying? That's I'm trying to like
no.
Okay, so no name.
Literally all that we have said is all there is right now. Like, it's very early stages. Again, like we started writing things like
Untitled,
we have chapter ideas that like we want to be in the book regardless if the thing that we're trying to work out doesn't work out.
Okay.
Just so that we are still progressing on the book, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But like, there's definitely some things that we could definitely like kind of throw out for like something a lot more like I don't want to say significant, but like something that's a lot more hype, I guess is the better way of saying it. We are basically playing a waiting game right now. We're just waiting for with one particular thing, and so
I can't imagine what that thing is, but hey.
Yeah. We'll either find out like we could find out tomorrow, we could find out in like months. Like we have no idea.
Right.
Which is why again we still want to try and get things moving regardless and kind of go from there.
I see.
Yeah.
So I see. Okay. Beautiful.
If you have like, and again, if you're listening to this and you have like a title idea, like please like drop it. Like, I like Kingdom Hearts HD explainer why it's great and not stupid remix. Like whatever, like I really
re-explanation.
Comma explanation. Actually, that's pretty good if we wanna name it in a Kingdom Hearts convention. But no, we
Y'all
are
that's a freebie. It's a freebie.
Thank you. Cam you need to give yourself more credit, Cam. We have a lot of really good ideas and a lot of like really powerful things, and like I think that when if people have not played the side games or haven't played it and are interested, reading this I think will be a big eye-opener for them, especially once we get into some of the bigger themes that again can't touch on them yet because Dream Drop Distance and 3 kind of pull them together, so we can I love this. I'm so happy.
I am reading your book again like as like to study. Like I'm basically like trying to like help kind of figure things out, and because we're also 2 different writers, so we're gonna have 2 different tones, and we have to kind of find that like that right thing that works for both of us. Like there's a lot of things when it comes to co-writing a book, and like that's why like I just don't want to let you down. So
You won't.
it's
You can't.
I know. As a threat, you can't.
You can't. I'm here.
uh,
We got this. We got this.
Ooh,
yeah,
okay.
so-
I got some like FAQ questions. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, FAQ question.
let me interview y'all. So 'cause
Okay.
these are the early days in this endeavor, right? We may not see the fruits of it till 2025. I think is what Cam said, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I lost it. Shit. Okay.
No.
Side
No.
one. Do we have a cover in mind? Obviously, if we don't have a title, we probably don't have a cover. But like, is there any type of inspirations that we're trying to draw from here? And I'm gonna remember what I was, and I'll try to remember what I was gonna say originally. But go ahead.
Yeah, so the cover's going to be decided by Limited Run. Limited Run has full control on
Really? Okay.
the cover.
Interesting.
Yep.
Jared
and
Petty. God damn it. You see,
yeah, I'm
Jared,
sure
Message
that
Jared Petty.
I'm sure
Tell
they're
you
gonna
what.
like ask us if like our thoughts on it, but like at the end of the day, it's Limited Run's call.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can input. I know that like when I was doing the boss fight version, like they very much want the authors to like help shape like what's on the cover, and like as you remember my Kingdom Hearts, someone else had already done a key, so I chose a popsicle, like because it's
You
the
chose sea salt ice cream, yeah.
yeah, the sea salt ice cream thing. So we definitely do have some ideas, but given how broad this is going to be,
Okay,
like
I see.
who knows? Maybe something
Right.
simple. Maybe we can get some cool art. I know that like the UK publication Lock On gets guest artists to do stuff all the time in like different styles and whatnot. Maybe we'll do something like that, but we'll see.
Okay. What I was originally gonna ask, I haven't heard this audiobook, but I'm recalling Gary Whitta's Gun Dog. I don't know if you guys have heard that project that he's doing.
Will there be an audio
Yes. Are we thinking of an audiobook? You know what I'm saying? I know I'm like jumping a lot of bounds, but like
Well-
I definitely want to ask you guys more definitive questions, but as what y'all said, like I don't know if I'm capable of doing that right now because I haven't played Dream Drop and Kingdom Hearts 3, and I think I'll have a better, overall sense of what
Yes.
this is going to entail after those games.
Yeah.
But just like more service level stuff,
audio.
like have we kind of thought about doing the audiobook? And I don't know if I'm like asking questions that are like we have not even thought about that yet because it's so
Well,
early. Yeah.
I actually did ask. I was like, Jared, I really want to do an audiobook. And he was
Hell
like,
yeah.
oh, maybe. And I was like, and it has to be read by Ray Chase, the master of masters himself. Like, he needs to be the one to do the audiobook on Kingdom
That
Hearts.
would actually be pretty
There,
amazing.
like,
Or wait,
do it.
well, what if we got Haley Joel Osment?
good God.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. I see.
Or have each chapter done by like somebody
A different character? That'd be really cool.
That would be
That
dope.
would
That'd be
be-
really cool. That'd be ridiculous, but that'd be really cool.
That would be
Um,
absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. So
Uh,
Limited Run hasn't. So I know that Limited Run has signed other books like ours, like in the same kind of vein. A lot of their other books that are kind of like histories on consoles and stuff like that, like things that like don't really like make a whole lot of sense for an audiobook
mhm.
as much. But I do know that that Limited Run has signed other people for other books similar to ours. But none of those have come out yet. So we'll probably gonna learn as you learn. Like if they say like, hey, this book's coming out, here's the audiobook. Or
I'm
an
gonna
audiobook is
manifest
coming.
it. I just decided. Now that
Yeah.
you've brought it up,
I mean,
I'm
like-
gonna manifest an audio version.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, like
Hell
once
yeah.
the book is done, like I'm sure we're gonna ask like, hey, so can we get an audiobook and stuff like that? If we,
Can Ray Chase do it? Thank you.
yeah. So
Fire. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Cannot wait. See how this progresses. You know what I'm saying? Look at this. Look at this.
Yay.
Look at this. I mean, look at y'all. Not me. I'm not doing nothing. I'm just.
You
I'm
are
just-
doing stuff.
I'm just,
you are
you know,
doing stuff.
I'm just gonna play some games, hanging out. You know what I'm saying? So, I know like we typically end with like, where do I think we're going? And,
Yeah,
and
tell
Kimmy
us.
got some answers.
Where are we going? Where
No,
are we going, Kevin?
like that's the thing. I mean, I am pleased to hear that we're gonna be training to
Taking
be
a
some keeper.
standardized
Yeah,
test?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Hype for that. You know, let's go with that. But like if I had not known that through this episode, like I was like, I don't know where. I don't know. I mean, we thank
I mean, it would
nominate.
have.
We thank nominate. It's like, damn, like what else?
Yo, that no, that part.
We thank
that part
nominate. I was
hit.
like, let's go.
That
I
part.
was like, let's
hit.
go. Yeah, yeah. We got the bottle note that Mickey wrote, so that's like,
Yeah.
that's some next level. Like, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one I was like, oh.
Yeah.
It was.
Because Gumby phones
Yeah.
hadn't been invented yet, so they have to send.
It's also
bottles.
kind of assumed that, like, even though it wasn't narrated, that note also said, like, hey, come to Yensid's tower.
Get your ass over here. It's
Yeah,
time to
we
take
need
a
you.
test.
Because, you know, at
Yeah.
the end of Birth by Sleep, like, Riku says to Sora, like, so have you made up your mind? Like, you know, that kind of thing. And he's holding the bottle. Like, yeah, that was kind of like the, hey, we got to go do this thing.
Right. Okay. And then like, okay, yeah. Okay, gotcha. So again, like I still kind of don't really have like a lot of like concrete guesses on like where we're going next, but I think the way you guys have talked about Dream Drop, like this feels like the start, because I remember you all telling me, hey, like there's gonna be like a second era of these games, right? That
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think y'all described as like divisive amongst the community, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Would-
I would argue that, like, Coded, Dream Drop, and Kingdom Hearts 3 are all divisive.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Because that's what I was gonna mainly ask. Like, I guess, like, you know, leaving this episode, like, is this kind of where we get into the meat and potatoes of what makes this era of Kingdom Hearts so divisive? Like, because
I
feel like
think
a bit like I'm on like the top of. I feel like I feel like I'm like about to drop off into something
Literally. Yeah.
different. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
feel like I'm on the
Yeah.
top of the roller coaster. Like it's about to go into something that
You
I
are-
can't really gauge like where we're gonna be.
so.
you know.
So the
Yes.
thing that Alexa has been alluding to about Dream Drop that I have also been like I've also talked about. When you realize what it is, you're gonna be you're gonna know it when it happens. Like you're gonna be like, oh, this is the thing that they're doing that they're talking about. Let me see how I feel about it.
Okay.
And I think you're gonna be like, you're not immediately gonna be like, oh, this is bad, but you're gonna be like, okay,
Right.
like, let's see where this goes. And it's just like, without saying exactly what it is a specific trope in storytelling that 95% of the time doesn't work unless it was meant to work from the beginning. That is all I'm going to say.
Damn, I'm kind of hoping.
This
yo,
is-
I hope it's
Wait,
not
wait,
some-
don't.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
This is also I want to remind listeners and this group that the break between Dream Drop Distance and Kingdom Hearts 3, even though Kingdom Hearts Key and Unchained Key came out
Union Cross.
Union Cross came out in that interim, the 7-year break between Dream Drop Distance and Kingdom Hearts 3 is the longest
That's brutal.
break in
Yeah.
this series.
Like,
And
by far, like,
Kingdom-
far away.
yeah, and Kingdom Hearts 3, they had announced, it had already been announced prior to Dream Drop Distance came out in 2012, and in 2010, in like an interview when Nomura was still also working on Final Fantasy Versus 13, what became 15,
Yep.
he stated that his work on Final Fantasy had overtaken his work on Kingdom Hearts. And in 2013, they announced Kingdom Hearts 3 for the PlayStation 4.
Yep.
Like it was a
Wait,
long
in
ass break.
2013?
Yeah. That was when they
Wow, yeah.
re-announced versus
Wait,
13 as
yes,
as Final Fantasy
as
15.
E3?
Final Fantasy
Which
15.
E3.
baller trailer, amazing trailer. It's unfortunate that Final Fantasy 15 did not end up that way. I still like Final Fantasy 15 for what it is, but obvious issues. But that trailer is what was one of the greatest trailers at that time ever. Like I lost because the Kingdom Hearts sickos, we knew that Nomura was working on Versus 13, and Kevin, you should watch.
I think I've
Watch-
seen it. That's the
watch
Vernum Rex thing,
all-
right? I think.
That's basically
Oh,
what it is now.
Not yet, not yet,
No,
not yet,
yeah. So like, yeah. So not yet. But Versus 13, like, just like Google on YouTube, like all
It's like that
Versus 13
nice
trailers,
It's a
and like, bro,
No.
those trailers to this day, those trailers
Amazing.
are S tier. Like they are like some of the best video game trailers ever, and some of them are repetitive, but like that because basically what Nomura wanted to do is that he wanted to make a Final Fantasy that was Kingdom Hearts. Like
That was
he
Kingdom
wanted
Hearts.
to make the combat to be like Kingdom Hearts,
Let's
but
go.
it be a full like a Final Fantasy game.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
that and it was incredible, dude. When you saw the gameplay, it was incredible. And like some of it still is in 15, but it's not the same, dude. Like Versus 13 is like I love you, Square Enix. I will never forgive Square Enix for doing what they did to Versus 13. Like I will never forgive them how they did Nomura so dirty. Cause like that was the thing that was like keeping us like not super impatient about Kingdom Hearts, is because we knew that he was working on Versus 13.
Right.
And it was just really hype, and it looked like it was gonna be a very like like totally different, but like the gameplay, which a lot of people love about Kingdom Hearts, was very like Kingdom Hearts-esque, like that hack and slash over the top action. Like, oh dude, it's incredible. It's incredible.
I
Like
will.
I actually rewatched those trailers like about a month ago, and I like literally tweeted about it. I was like, I will never forgive Square Enix for this.
When that was all going down as well, like another thing to add to this, like being the largest break in between games. So play Dream Drop Distance, knowing that for a lot of us, it was all we got for, again, like 7 years, because January 2018 was when Kingdom Hearts 3 finally came out.
That's crazy.
But
Yeah, that's
we were not only were we getting like drip fed stuff all the way up to Kingdom Hearts 3, and then Kingdom Hearts 3 had its pitfalls, but from 2012 when Dream Drop Distance came out to 2022 when Melody of Memory came out and closed the Dark Seeker Saga, those if you are counting Union Cross, those four games. We have Kingdom Hearts is 20 fucking years old, and we got like 75% of the games in the first 10 years.
Yeah,
And then in a 10-year span, we got
25.
4, and one was a fucking mobile game. These last 10 years are the weirdest years. Like, you are entering the decade where all of us were like the decade where
Yeah.
things kind of went, whoa, and the people like
Yeah,
us that
okay.
like really, really have been digging into it were like, okay. And that's where a lot of people fell off. Oops, I'm getting heated. And a lot of the disdain came from a lot of like the mainstream gamers or what have you. Like,
yeah. Okay.
so you are entering the weird decade of Kingdom Hearts, but it just so happens to be the sparse decade, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I see. Yeah. I would like to check in on this, definitely, and like kind of ask you guys like what was the temperature, what was the read on it, going into this second era, if you will, of Kingdom Hearts. Yeah.
I
okay,
mean,
see.
we
We didn't know.
we have like kind of hinted, or we've kind of glossed over it in previous episodes, that like a big thing was just really the development of the games that like caused it to be
Yeah.
the way it is, because
A lot of drama and heartache.
because like Disney and Nomura were not getting along with 3 and like losing my train of thought here. Oh, and then like Square Enix like basically told Nomura like probably 70% of the way through development, like, hey, you need to restart on this new engine.
Yes.
Yeah, remember they moved it over to Unreal from
70% is
the
a completely
Luminous
like random
engine.
number. I don't actually know that, but like they were, but there was an interview I want to say back in like 2017, I believe it was, where Nomura said like, yeah, if we didn't have to switch engines, this game would be out by now.
I
But
see.
we had to switch, and it came out 2 years later. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
and so I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful in my hearts of hearts that Kingdom Hearts 4 does not take as long, because they're still using Unreal. They're using Unreal, what, 5 now? Is
Unreal
it?
5?
Unreal 5?
Mhm.
Unreal 5. And
I like
they
Unreal
are
5.
already very familiar with that because that's what they made with, they, did 4 with 3. And I'm hoping that Nomura and Disney get along better, and like, because the thing is, like, we talked a little bit about this before the podcast, but I'm like, and if someone from Disney is watching this, like, please, like, hear us out here. Disney basically let Nomura do whatever he wanted leading up to 3. Like, leading up to 3, he basically, like, obviously there might have been some minor things, but like, he more or less got to do everything he wanted without any issue. But with Kingdom Hearts 3, they were just like, hey, we want you to do this, 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 and he's like, okay, not if, like, only if I could do this, this, and that. Like, there was a lot more, like, Disney was a lot more pulling on the reins on what Nomura could do, and that led to a lot of like criticisms about the game that like that are because of Disney. Like, for example, without saying specifics, there aren't a lot of Disney villains that, or like Disney villain bosses in Kingdom Hearts 3. And like part of that is because of Disney. And it's just like, hey, why? Just let Nomura do what he wants. Like, he's proven time and time again that these games will sell. They're like well received. Just let him cook. Let him do what he wants.
Let him
and then,
cook. Let Nomura cook. That's the hashtag.
Yeah. And so like that's like, those were like some of the big things that led to like why things went the way it went with Kingdom Hearts 3. And on top of that, like, I'm pretty sure Disney, like, the reason why it released when it released for Square Enix is like Disney said like, yo, you have a deadline to get this game out. It's been too long, even though they were part of the problem as to why it was so long, and you need to get it out like by this date. And so they got, it was January 2019, and the Remind DLC was like, and like the Final Fantasy characters ended up getting cut. Like, that was a lot of that was because Disney put a deadline on them.
Wait, you said the Final Fantasy characters got cut?
There were going to be Final Fantasy characters in the game that got cut because they didn't have the time.
There's no Final Fantasy characters, and there's no Final
Remember
Fantasy
we told
characters.
you.
I didn't say that.
no.
Shit.
No, I didn't say that. I said there
Oh.
are Final Fantasy characters that got cut.
I see.
I told you will not see any new Final Fantasy characters.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so like, and again, like, yeah, I just, and we don't know for certain. Like, we don't know for certain if Remind was like, was the reason, was that like, that was like meant to be a thing like added later, but it was retreading a lot of old ground. But the new stuff was awesome. But like, they did do some like retreading of things that we already knew about, and like it felt a little bit weird.
Oh my god, just hurry up and fucking play Kingdom Hearts 3, Kevin.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm very excited.
We're gonna ruin
Yeah,
the
I'm very-
whole thing for you.
Because like ultimately, like where I kind of want to end off is like, going into this like second era, and we're kind of already in it with recoded what we just played, but like this is when I started to pay more attention to just like I was exiting my COD fanboy era and going into like the wider game space, right? And the only thing I heard in this era about Kingdom Hearts was the mantras that started this whole podcast in the first place. Of like, oh, like the story's convoluted, doesn't make sense. This and the third. You gotta play, all these games willy nilly on X amount of systems, whatever. Like this is where I started to be exposed to that,
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I just want to hear from two people that lived it. Well, three with Jonathan, but like
Dornbush.
that were in it and lived it, and like get
Yeah.
y'all's perspective on it. You know?
Yeah, like so
Yeah,
like think
yeah.
of so I would say like think of Kingdom Hearts 1 through 2 as Act 1, and then think
Right.
of 358 to now where we just ended Act 2.
Act 2.
We're starting the final act of like the Xehanort saga. This is like where like
Okay.
we're seeing like what the grand plan is,
Right.
like and all that stuff to gear up for Kingdom Hearts 3. And so
Interesting. We
yeah.
shall see. We shall see. Definitely.
God.
But yes,
Yes.
everybody, thanks for everyone. I expected this episode to be a lot shorter, but we were just vibing and having a good
Vibes.
time. And,
Out
and
of
honestly,
pocket.
All vibes.
honestly,
all vibes.
this like we've only released this is our second episode for this year, and probably our like last episode for this year.
No, don't
So,
say
like,
that.
Do you really think we're gonna play Dream Drop and get an episode out before the
I'm
end
down
of the year?
to make it by December.
Let's go.
I'm down.
We can try. But anyway, I just like it's nice that we have a juicy episode where we talk about a lot of different stuff. Like, yeah, we talked about Coded, and I really liked how that conversation went, and we talked about a myriad of different things. But I hope y'all enjoyed it. And yeah, so the next game is Dream Drop Distance. You can play it on PS4 or like, PlayStation 4, PS5 if you backwards compatibility, Xbox, it's backwards compatible, PC, all on the 2.8 collection. If you need to get that now, there's a new collection. That's where that's going to be. And you can also play it on 3DS if you want to play the original way it came out. There are some like mechanic things that are different, on the 3DS version, which we can talk about in the episode because I think we're all going to just be playing the remastered version. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about Dream Drop. It is it's a hot topic on this panel. So I'm ready for Alexa to give us the presentation, to give us here's a slideshow on why Dream Drop is a narrative disaster.
Dream dump distance.
Yeah. Again, hopefully Jonathan will be here with us next time.
Indeed.
And we'll have the whole crew here together. We're trying to get so for sure, the three of us are going to the Game Awards in LA together. So we're gonna get at least three of us, which will be the first time any of us will meet Kevin in person, which will be awesome.
My first gaming event too.
Yeah, we're trying to see if we can. We're trying to see if we can get Dornbush too, so we can get like the four of us all together. It'd be really, really cool. But again, follow us on all of our socials. You can follow me at Cam Final Mix. Alexa.
I'm at Alexa Ray C on pretty much everything.
At the KDS123. You know what I'm saying? Keep it locked. Watch the trailers I upload on IGN. Enjoy those trailers. Enjoy.
Yeah,
indeed.
And I have like Bylines, IGN, Digital Trends. Those are like the two main ones right now. Oh yeah, I recently published my first review for Game Informer a few months ago. That was dope. So there's been a lot going on since the last episode, but we will say goodbye for now. I hope you all take care, be safe, have a good one, and may your heart be your guiding key.